lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Stall to the rebound, up for Jarvis. Jarvis trying to play it around. Empty net. Bingo! Seth Jarvis's 9th of the year. And it's a 5-3 lead for Carolina. Krebs gets it to Legault for his first. His first NHL goal for Charles Alexis Legault. 170 feet, nothing but net. And the Canes have a 6-3 lead. Lebeau for Legault.
Ah, man. Unfortunately, won't be hearing that for a while. I'll explain. Hi, everyone. It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold, Victoria on the ones and twos, producing this program.
Yes.
As I was going to say, as always, but I mean, always is absolute, and there are days where you're not. Are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
Well,
I'll be here.
I'm not going to be here Thursday.
Oh, really?
And I will explain. First of all, we're on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan and enjoy the program. And you can see me. I was complimented today for being dressed up.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, boy, I must look like a slob most days because I am simply wearing a collared shirt and a sweater because it's 8 degrees outside.
It is really chilly outside.
Winter happened yesterday, last night. It's going away.
Yeah, it'll come back.
We're going to be back to fall tomorrow, but today is winter.
This weekend, it might reach 70 again. So.
Oh, it definitely is going to reach 70 this week. Yeah, so, but I was at the arena today for the pregame skate, Canes and the Capitals, and I'm a little stuffy because this sudden weather change.
Getcha.
Where we went to, it was like 25 degrees when I got up in Canada this morning. And that's no good because it was 70 the other day.
Yeah.
So just kind of gets me. Anyway, are you feeling okay? I appreciate your concern. But yes,
Right.
I feel great. The weather is just kind of messing with me. Anyway, reason I'm not going to be here Thursday.
Right.
Shouts to the Guardians of Wake Preparatory Academy. Sounds fancy, doesn't it?
It does sound fancy.
They advanced to the East semifinals last night.
Nice.
With a, I guess it's officially logged as a 5-4 win in penalties, although it was 4-4. Really, technically, for us, us soccer heads, 4-4 advance on penalties. And interestingly enough, because you always give the home team's score first, 6-7.
There you go.
In penalties.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, there it is.
But yeah.
That was, you should be like, that one's for you, Jack.
I was. But he's not watching.
Oh.
So anyway, they advanced in penalties last night, and they will take on the North Carolina School of Science and Math in Durham on Thursday in the one of the East semifinal matches.
Nice.
So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun last night. And we were in Spivey's Corner.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound cool?
I thought you said Spidey's Corner for a
No,
second, like Spider-Man.
Spivey. Spivey's Corner. Or we're on Spivey Corner Parkway.
Yeah.
It might not be Spivey's. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sampson County. That's
Okay.
where we were last night for the quarterfinal match.
Well,
and it was so cold.
Oh, yeah, it was freezing. Anytime Biff had to go outside to go potty, I'm like, buddy, let's wrap this up, please.
Dude, the bathroom's right there.
Like, let's wrap this up, okay? You don't have to smell the deer that were walking through the yard. Like,
Earl,
it's cold.
Earl is all about holding it in until the weather warms up. All about it.
See you in March.
I am not interested. I'm not going out.
Yeah,
Nope.
yeah, no. Well, I won't be here Thursday. Well, I will be here Thursday, but I won't be here Thursday because it's long-term luncheon day.
It is.
So I get to eat steak and celebrate our long-termness.
Yes.
I'm excited for it.
It is very
so
cool.
I'll be around.
I'm trying to remember the last time I went to one of these.
Yeah,
been a
last year
minute.
was my first one.
It's been a minute. I was in a different day part when I
Yeah.
last went to one of these.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and most importantly, Happy Veterans Day.
Yes,
to all
it
of our
is.
vets out there.
and to that end, Chris Spatola,
Yes.
who served our country in the Army back in Desert Storm, I believe, he will join us at 1:00, and we'll talk about Veterans Day, what it means to him. And by the way, Duke's playing at Army today. So on the campus at West Point today. So very, very cool. I've seen some videos that they have put out. Coach K is on the trip. Shocking. But I mean, obviously he's an Army guy, but Spatola's an Army guy. So we'll talk about the holiday and sports and how the whole thing kind of plays into each other. But we'll do that at 1:00. Right now, it's time to start this thing.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get it started.
Canes, Caps tonight at Lenovo Center. Bad news, Charles Alexis Legault has surgery to repair several severed tendons in his hand.
Not good.
So if anybody watched the game against Toronto on Sunday, at the end of the first period, a little bit of a scrum, and hands were being thrown, and when Legault, who was reaching down to punch somebody, he punched the skate of Nick Robertson
Oh, no.
of the Maple Leafs.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No good, obviously. So surgery, I mean, it's a long-term injury. The release might have said how long they expect him to be out. But it's a long-term thing. I don't know the extent of Evander Kane's injury. It was either last year or the year before. But he also had a skate blade injury to his hand, and he was out like 4 months. Again, I am not suggesting that these are similar in any way, but this could be a very long-term deal.
Yeah.
It's a bummer for him because he was playing better, and Carolina has had so many injuries to defensemen. In fact, Shane Gostisbehere is going to draw in tonight, we believe. And you'll hear, I caught up with the head coach about an hour ago, a little bit less than an hour ago, and we'll bring you that short conversation in just a couple of minutes. The expectation is that Gostisbehere will draw in. If he doesn't, then Gavin Bayreuther will play tonight, and he would be the 11th different defenseman to play, not just be on the roster, to play this year. Generally, you only dress 6,
Yeah.
right? And this will be the 16th game.
Wow. We're doubling.
The Hurricanes have been absolutely decimated by injuries to their blue line. I saw Jacob Slavin upstairs last week. I saw him today, not with a brace. I would not anticipate Jacob back this week or even next week, but who knows? So we want him back. Jalen Chatfield has not yet left concussion protocol. We're looking forward to his return. Those two guys are huge parts of what Carolina does. Gostisbehere coming back would leave only 2 injuries on the blue line, and that would be great. Everybody else, for the most part, is healthy or healthy enough to play.
Knock on wood.
And, and so hopefully Shane will make it 2 periods tonight. The last time he came back after a short stint out of the lineup, he made it 1 period before hurting something else, totally unrelated to the injury that kept him out the first time. All right. Should be fun tonight, Canes and Capitals. We were saying goodbye to Washington. Bye. Playoffs. All right. Brian Kelly wants his money from LSU, but LSU doesn't want to give it to him, and it appears they are willing to blow up the football program as a result of this impasse. And I'm like, that isn't their intention, but I'm telling you this. If LSU balks, if they try to fight paying Brian Kelly, why would anybody want to work for them?
Yeah.
These are a volatile group. We already saw with the governor putting his rear end on his shoulders
Right.
At that press conference. Like, it's a great job, but it's a great job with, like, it's sort of like when you don't realize that the rose stem has a lot of thorns.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's background, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, which really aren't behind the scenes in Baton Rouge, those are the thorns. And you know what? There's a lot of nice flowers out there. I don't really need the rose because I could cut myself. It hurts.
Yeah.
And that's what LSU is, man. They are a mess away from football. And there's so many attractive jobs. You're just at, like, I'm not saying that Florida's a better job than LSU, but LSU is making Florida a better job than LSU. Penn State, is that a better job than LSU? LSU's making it a better job. Anyway, that's what they're doing. So, remember they fired him, well, like 2 weeks ago. Now they're saying we didn't fire him. Huh?
Never happened.
Right? We didn't fire him, but we're going to fire him now. And we're going to fire him for cause so we don't have to pay the $53 million buyout. Brian Kelly said, sorry, I want my money.
Sounds like an SNL skit.
It does. And actually, I'm for those people who watched Ocean's 13, when Don Cheadle, as whatever the daredevil is, pay me my money.
Yeah.
In cash. Anyway, that's all I'm thinking about right now. Or the AT&T football coach, after winning a bye game at the big school, was like, pay me my money.
All right.
Brian Kelly is going to get his. Like, it's amazing how LSU can make Brian Kelly a sympathetic figure. Because Brian Kelly seems to be one of the truly jerk store figures in college football. Anyway, the whole thing is just silly. It sounds to me like LSU doesn't have the cash.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds to me like. But who knows? All right. It is head coach firing season in the NFL.
Oh.
Yeah. Brian Daboll out as the Giants head coach. Now, I believe his record was 20, 40, and 1. And when you consider that they went 9-7-1 his first year and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
It obviously is significantly worse than that
Big
since.
turn of events.
So that's really all you need to know about Brian Daboll. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach or even a good head coach, but that's reason enough. The overall record is reason enough to move on from Brian Daboll. Here's Adam Schefter on why the Giants made the move.
The New York Giants have lost 4 games this season on the road in which they had double-digit leads. They've seen their prized rookie quarterback Jackson Dart be evaluated 4 separate times for concussions during this season. There was the incident with Brian Daboll poking his head around the blue medical tent when Jackson Dart was in there in a Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you see where they ranked offensively in points per game, opponents' points per game, yards per game, opponents' yards per game. They were amongst the bottom of the teams in the National Football League, and the Giants felt today that the best thing to do was to start anew with a head coach. They have dismissed Brian Daboll, and they have named the offensive coordinator Mike Kafka as the interim head coach starting this week.
No idea if Mike Kafka is really a candidate to get the job long term. 2 of the double-digit leads were fourth quarter, including if you watch the Denver game. There's no reason. I think the Giants led 26-7 with like 5 minutes left. Look at the final score, which was 33-32.
Right.
How
Stupid.
did you possibly allow All of those points inside the last 6 minutes. Dumb that all of that happened. Anyway, and they just lost on the road after having a 10-point fourth-quarter lead against the Chicago Bears. So that's really all you need to know. But did you hear what Adam Schefter said? 4 times Jackson Dart has been identified,
concussions,
evaluated for concussion,
including
one time where Daboll was looking around into the blue tent, like he almost pressured Dart.
Yeah.
He didn't want him evaluated. He was mad that he was being evaluated. The safety of players right now is paramount. To the point where I would even accept everybody's argument if you would say, well, the league has gone too far because there's a spotter in the sky, right, in the press box.
Right.
If he thinks that somebody that might be a concussion situation, they'll take a guy off the field. Even if he's fine, they will take a guy off the field. Anyway, here's Harry Douglas from ESPN on that particular incident with Jackson Dart.
They're in a situation, especially Brian Daboll, where he's trying to do everything to keep his job, and now it's starting to affect the quarterback that they drafted. We're talking about a guy in Jackson Dart who we know is the franchise guy now. Freddie, we know that, right?
Yes, we do.
But the harm's way that they continuously put this young man in which he's being evaluated for his 4th concussion? What's their record, 2-8? We're only 10 games in.
Yeah, 2-8.
And he's in his rookie season, and he's being evaluated for his 4th concussion? You're not going to sit up here and tell me that they have the best interest in that young man because they're trying to keep their jobs.
That is, by the way, too much of head coaching in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of head coaching is trying to keep their job.
Yeah.
And, that's not always on the coach. That's also, I firmly believe that if Dave Canales worked for anybody not named David Tepper right now, I'm totally serious. There's no way that Dave Canales could look forward to a 3rd year.
Right.
The only reason why Canales, I will say this, is almost certainly going to get a 3rd year isn't because he's been good, because he hasn't. But David Tepper is keenly aware of his reputation, and Tepper wants his reputation changed.
Yeah. Has anyone seen him hold a drink?
Have we seen him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He has very much been in the background, which is good. It means he's learning it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I promise you, if David Tepper's rep was better, there would be a new head coach there next year.
Tep's still in there.
Yeah, somewhere. He's somewhere still in there. All right, let's get to a head coach who has total job security, Rod Brindamore. Canes Capitals tonight, with all the injuries, they are 11-4-0. Coach, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think with what we've gone through, injuries are injuries, and your team goes through them, but not usually. You don't get 5-6 guys out at one time, and to key players, it's usually something that you can sustain for a little while, but long term, it's not really. You usually see it creeping in, and we're still. It's not so long yet, but it's long enough, and I give a lot of credit for the guys that were in the lineup that picked it up, but the guys that we put in to replace the guys have done a real nice job.
I mean, after tonight, it's 20% of the season. That's long term.
Yeah.
Slavin hasn't played since the Philadelphia game. It's a month, exactly a month. He hasn't played. You don't have Chatfield now. You didn't have Miller for a while.
Yeah.
Those young guys on the blue line and we know about what's happened with Charles, but I mean, Joel Niestrom's played really well.
Yeah. Those guys you mentioned. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know what you have until you have to really put them in there, and I think they hung in there and they were getting better. Right. You said Nystrom, I think, has really looked the part as far as certainly not out of place, and then Charles was getting better. I felt like his game was really suited for this level because of the size and strength, and that's taking up space. And as a defender, it's just so valuable. So that's going to be a tough one. Not just a tough injury in general to be out that long.
Yeah.
That's tough on him, but. hopefully tonight we get one guy back, which would be nice. And the other two, who knows when they'll be back, but we miss them. There's no doubt about it.
Let me ask you about your top line, which, looked pretty good in Toronto in a lot of different ways. I know there were 4 goals allowed, but there were just a couple of quick breakdowns, and that was goal. Those were the goals. Yeah. But the top line looked awfully good.
Yeah, I thought in general everybody was. Yeah. It was a good game. It was probably one of our better games as far as just sticking with it. They got high-end team. So you look at the couple goals they scored. It was not even so much coverage. We were there. We had the right. The guy just blew past us because there's another level of skill that sometimes you forget when and not really what happened. But I thought overall I loved the way we played that game. And then to your point, I thought really all the lines were good. But we always talk about it. If you have a top line, it should be noticeable. And right. I thought they were.
Wasn't a step forward for Sebastian in the face-off circle, but I thought the rest of his game was. What is it going to take for him and Logan to just step it up just a little bit?
Well, Logan's is not. I don't have any expectations here. You throw a guy who's never done it, and that's asking way too much. So the fact that he's even remotely hanging in there is very impressive to me. Seabass got to be better than that. He knows it. He was good the night before against the Islanders, and he's that's I don't know what to tell you. He's been around enough to know that that's an area of his game he's got to keep focusing on. Sometimes when you play a lot of minutes, right, you get but you got to compete like crazy in that dot because it matters so much.
Yeah, the power play goals. Yeah, you have 5 power play goals this year. I think 4 of them have come off of offensive zone faceoffs.
You got to win them. And then you want your power play to be better. You start with the puck. You just think about it every time you get a set right away. We scored last night or the other night on that. Actually, I think almost every one of our power play goals might have come just winning the draw, getting your set, run your plays that everyone has the same. Everyone runs the same plays, but if you're not getting that first crack, that's a big disadvantage.
All right, Washington tonight. Last time we saw them was the playoffs. I know, big physical team. Tom Wilson's playing at the highest level he's ever played at. I know you've coached him. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think he's the guy that really I think you got a key on, because there's so much speed, strength, size there, and he kills penalties for him. He does kind of everything. So we know Ovechkin. You know what that is. That is what it is. You don't want to let him get loose for a shot, but Wilson's kind of I think touches everything for him. So. That's a big thing. Their team game is really solid. They don't give you much. You really got to fight your way through to get your chances tonight. And that's what you have to have, the patience to know. Okay, maybe it's not going for a few shifts. That's okay. They're a good team
and they're big.
Right.
Huge.
Yes.
The Capitals are big.
At least he didn't get his 900th goal here.
True.
So he can't get I don't think he's going to get 99 of them.
Yeah, let's keep Ovi off the sheet tonight. When we come back, Wes Durham, the voice of the Atlantic Coast Conference, who is in Chapel Hill tonight for the Tar Heels and Radford. Wes Durham joins us next.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
The road to college football's national championship runs through 99.9 The Fan. The ACC, the SEC, the biggest matchups will be found here.
The snap is back. The pressure's on. Mendoza throws back in the end zone. Leaping grab. Touchdown! Wow! The Hoosiers take the lead with 36 seconds to go.
College football on The Fan is powered by Wake Med, Roofworks, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Fox & Bailey, the watch shop located inside their Village District location, has the hottest lineup in town. Pre-owned Rolex, Omega, Blancpain, Glashütte Original, Norcane, and more. And we mention those brands for this reason. They aren't just watches. They're icons. They're Hall of Famers. Collector-level pieces with serious pedigree made to turn heads and stand the test of time. Now, clearly, you're listening to 99.9 The Fan, which means you're into sports. Fox and Bailey, they have timepieces built for it all, not just a tuxedo, flashy, but when you're diving, racing, maybe a pilot's watch if you're doing some flying. Whatever your game, they've got a watch that fits the moment and the mindset. Don't forget, with anniversaries, big milestones ahead, that Bailey's Fine Jewelry is your go-to for unforgettable gifts. Their selection of fine and designer jewelry is unmatched. Think timeless, thoughtful, and guaranteed to impress. All at Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift. It lets them dream just for a bit. Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Oh, it's perfect, all right.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Duralea Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-511-4545. That's 800-511-4545.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. Happy Veterans Day. We're into the wild blue yonder. Very
I
nice.
know. Do you want to guess whose anthem this is?
This is Navy, right?
Air Force.
Air Force, my fault. Oh, my gosh.
Just throw it out
Can
there.
we just leave? I'm just going to go. Chris Spatola is going to join us at 1.
Oh, I'm saving the Army for him.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Would
So you
make
had
sense
one
that this
less.
would be Air Force. Never mind. Oh, okay. Let's move on, shall we? Let's talk to Wes Durham, the reason the Atlantic Coast Conference turns a profit. He is the voice of the ACC, and because he used to be the voice of Radford, particularly poignant that Radford is in Chapel Hill tonight to take on the Tar Heels, and Wes is there for the ACC Network. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? Been a long time. The folks at Radford, they've probably forgotten what they signed up for 37, almost 38 years ago at this point.
Well, they were looking for somebody with experience being a DJ at roller rinks.
Yeah,
So
that's it. They found the guy. They called the Sports World. For those of you driving around the Triangle today, there used to be a place off Buck Jones Road in Cary called Sports World. And I was a part-time DJ, full-time skate repair guy, bathroom cleaner at the Sports World there for a while.
So when it was a reverse skate, couple skate, which, by the way, when I was that age and going to roller rinks, poorly, by the way, that was always the moment where I had to get off of the rink because it was hard enough for me to go one way. When they reversed it, it took me like 8 songs to figure out how to skate in the other direction, and I was bruised at that point. Did you have a go-to song when it was reverse skate, couple skate?
Oh, my God, 1983, 84. I remember Heat Wave being big, Always In Forever by Heat Wave. How's that?
I got nothing for that, but that's awesome.
What do you mean you don't have nothing? You know damn well what song I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, man.
Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you this. So when you did, like, and why did you work at Sports World, Wes? Did you always want to be a roller rink DJ? Well, kind of. But as they like to say in Top Gun, it was a high target zone, too.
Yes, sure, which is why I wasn't there.
Yeah. But let's see, Michael Jackson's Thriller album was out, so the video was hot.
Yes.
That video in particular was hot. Van Halen's 1984 album came out in January, and Van Halen appeared at Reynolds in February of 1984 on the 84 tour.
Wow. All right.
And during I'm trying to remember, they were either playing Running with the Devil. I think they were playing Running with the Devil, and that's when Eddie Van Halen brought Valerie Bertinelli out on the stage that night.
Oh, my gosh, what an epic performance.
Oh, dude. And every Metro Raleigh Triangle male high school kid went bananas.
Yep.
Not over Eddie Van Halen, but Valerie Bertinelli.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, so I'm glad we talked about this now. It's better.
I've helped expand your demo in the next ratings book.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So it's better than talking about ACC football at this point. So I termed this yesterday. This weekend was the ACC hitting itself in the face with a hammer. So we have, what is the hope? Is the hope that we have a whole bunch of 2-loss teams and Miami ends up in the conference championship game? Is the hope that, and I'm not even sure that would work out considering they lost to Louisville and they might not have the other tiebreaker. And SMU could also have 2 losses and then therefore Miami would have lost to both. Or is the hope that Georgia Tech wins out and Duke wins out and at least we have 2 1-loss teams?
Well, let's start simplistically first, okay? Let's go with Pitt beating Notre Dame on Saturday.
Okay.
Let's start there because Pitt actually, I think, plays a pivotal role in the fact that they're going to see Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, and Miami to close the regular season. So if Pitt beats Notre Dame, that in a way helps Miami.
Sure.
Because Miami's already beaten Notre Dame. And, yeah, I know that the season, there are different values placed on different games at different points in the season. The committee showed you something last week. The biggest concern wasn't that Notre Dame was ahead of Miami. It was how far the margin was. Okay?
Yeah.
So, really, Miami lost at the wrong time. Okay? And they lost twice at the wrong time.
Correct. Like last year.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, if you want to try and get 2, if your goal in life is to get 2 teams in and potentially get 2 teams in, whereas one of the teams potentially hosts a first-round game, right? Then your best bet is probably going to be Georgia Tech, only because they're going to play Pitt. If Pitt beats Notre Dame, then Georgia Tech beats Pitt. That's pretty good. Then they're going to play Georgia. If they beat Georgia in Atlanta to close the regular season, they're in really good shape. And then if they lose the conference championship game by chance to say, I don't know, Miami, then guess what? You got a chance of getting 2 in.
Yeah, I think if Georgia Tech beats Georgia, they're in.
Yeah, but if they beat Georgia, they're in, regardless of the championship game. The schedule metrics for Georgia Tech are going to be questioned all the way up until they play Georgia. And if they beat Georgia before the championship game in Charlotte, they're probably in a good spot. if they lose to Georgia, win the championship game, obviously they're in. If they lose to Georgia, lose the championship game, they're not in my opinion. And then the ACC champion would go. Then the question becomes, where does that champion fit in the pantheon of, highest rated teams, Adam?
Right.
And that's the part where, what you don't want is you don't want the ACC to continue collapsing in a cannibalistic way, I guess, and then taking themselves out regardless of who the champion is. Because if you get a 3-loss champion, you're probably not going to have a team in the college football playoff, period.
I mean, right now, like if Duke wins out and then wins the ACC championship game.
That's not good.
We have 4-loss team in the playoff. Here's my – because I do –
You're going to have one team in, but you're running the risk of being super – you're going to be submarined by the American if you're not careful.
Yeah, I mean that happened last year. Right? Our conference champion was the 12 seed. Clemson was the 12 seed, right?
Yes.
Right, but behind Boise State. Wes Durham is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I do fall on this though. I think if Miami wins out the season, I think they're going to be in the playoff. I find it hard to believe that they could beat Notre Dame, because there are so many other games that still have to be played.
That's correct.
There's only going to be one team from the Big 12 in, right?
Look, we came within one tremendous play last week, Mendoza to Cooper,
right,
of Indiana being, and the Big Ten for that matter, probably being in a different light altogether. And now it's going to be really interesting to see kind of how all this gets situational down the stretch. Yeah,
it'd be fun tonight. Although I don't watch the shows ever, and I give less credence than I think most people do to the ranking, because the one thing I always say about the committee, I think I take them on their word in this regard. I do think they blow it up and start over each week, and the dynamics and the metrics, although not the underlying statistical metrics, but who you played, how good are they, did you beat them? Those types of things change each week, and we add another data point, and it changes the way certain wins are viewed. So I do think they start over each week, and I think by the end of the year, whether Notre Dame wins out or not, I think Miami will get closer and closer to the at-large pool, and I think ultimately if they finish 10-2 and their losses to SMU and Louisville are, if both of those teams have 9 or 10 wins, of course it didn't help them last year because both of those teams were good football teams that they lost to, and it didn't help them. But this is where, and I said this last week, this is where I want to hear Jim Phillips. I want to hear the commissioner, and I want to hear coaches complain about it.
Rhett Lashley, I will say this. This is the thing I give Rhett Lashley at SMU a lot of credit for. Rhett Lashley was on this in July, and people looked at him like he had 9 heads.
Right.
And I don't blame him. Rhett Lashley is the guy, to me, if you want to talk about a voice nationally who is going to ring one way or the other, I mean, he's going to ring it out pretty quick and going to do it all year long. That's the guy. Because Rhett's got a little bit of juice in this from a year ago. So that's why he was quick to offer something in July, and people just said, oh, that's ridiculous. We don't want to talk about it. Well, no, you're not paying attention to the quality and qualifying he's using in the comments, right? And we need more people like that too, because elsewise all you're going to get, and if this is what you're interested in, then fine, you're going to get the SEC and Big Ten standing around telling you how great and how deep their league is.
Yeah, but one of those is true. The SEC has a deep league. The Big Ten does not.
Deep. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how deep the SEC is. I think it's, if you're going to tell me 6, I'll go okay, maybe. But I'm not willing to tell. I'll take the 7th ACC team. You pick whichever version of the 7 you want. You give me the 7th ACC team and the 7th SEC team, and I think you got a pretty good game.
Okay, I'm not going to argue that, but I'm like. The SEC's got 5 or 6 teams that could make the playoffs.
They do. And look, I understand some of that, but also you were selling me things. And look, and I'll use this for Miami. Okay, you're selling me that Miami beat Notre Dame, and everybody talked about how such a valuable win that was, right?
Right.
Then all of a sudden, Miami loses twice to Louisville and to SMU. And because SMU had lost to Wake Forest, TCU, and Baylor, all of a sudden they were being marked down.
Right.
So that what you're telling me is Miami's loss to SMU bought them, 18 last week, and Notre Dame was, 10?
10.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, then you're going to rank ahead of them somebody who had lost maybe twice in the SEC. But just because they're in the SEC doesn't mean that they're 3-4 spots ahead of where Miami is at 18, in my opinion.
And that is, to me, the perception, right? And the ACC, in many ways, and the SEC has too, perception is earned. And what I wanted to see, I'll go back to the last year of the 14 playoff.
Right.
Like, Florida State was screwed. And
no question.
While people,
worst ever.
Mike Norvell, he complained about it. But we allowed Jim Phillips, as I love that man. He's such a good human being. Yep. But everybody allowed the broadcast of that game to.
You're talking about Louisville and Florida State in the championship
yes.
game.
To essentially say, yeah, but look at this Florida State team, as though that quarterback who played in that game was going to be the quarterback in whatever playoff game they played. He was just there because the second guy had a concussion. And, oh, by the way, how many of those players are in the NFL right now?
Right.
That almost that entire defense went to the NFL. And nobody really, railed about that. And then last year, we just sort of accept, we can't. Now, I hate intellectual dishonesty, Wes, so I'm not going to sit here and argue that Virginia is so good or SMU or I'm not going to do that. But Miami's a playoff caliber team.
Sure, I agree.
And I think Georgia Tech is, as long as they will prove it, the last two and the third game against Georgia, I think they are a playoff caliber team. But I want somebody to go to bat for Miami because I contend that last year the debate should have never been Alabama versus Indiana. It should have been Miami versus Indiana because Miami's two losses they lost on the road. I realize they blew a lead, but they lost on the road to a 10-win team. Why is that? Why is that a horrible loss?
Because the team they lost to perceptually outside that committee room was not a brand.
Correct.
It's not a brand. Right. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And this is why. And look, I have great respect for the people involved. I think Richard Clark is, former superintendent of the Air Force Academy, fine man. I don't really have a whole lot of issue, kind of with the concept here. And I've told you this before, and I still believe this. There's still a little bit too much basketball committee in the football committee, which I don't like.
Right.
But Bill Hancock was the executive director who came from where?
Basketball.
The basketball committee. And we can do all the nuances and all the analytics. And, we've created so many things in the history of the CFP now. We got game speed and all these other things, and strength of winning and strength of road record and all this other crap. But for me, it still comes down to the principal football people in the room. And don't forget who was hired, by the way, in early September, Adam, to help the committee in its football analysis, Justin Fuente.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Justin Fuente was hired by the CFP to be essentially like an analyst for the football committee. And I think that's important. I think it's important that we get that kind of transparency. I still want one of these things televised now.
Yes.
But that'll never happen. And I think the product is really good. However, the other part about this, and I'm going to say this, and this is not to deface something that we've done in this country for well over 80 years, and that's the voting of the Associated Press and the preseason polls and the polls that come up until November when this one comes out. I honestly do believe we need to get rid of those polls. I think it is a public deception, and it takes away from what the committee does. And I'm not saying that to spit in the face of tradition and the hallowed ground of the AP poll, but the AP poll doesn't do anybody any favors. It creates a perception that sometimes is not accurate, and that's the biggest issue I have with it.
First of all, I 100% agree. The polls, back in the day, they were created to explain to people, hey, these are good teams.
Right.
Now, we know. I don't need to know that Alabama or Georgia is good. I don't need to know that. Real quick, we're running out of time. I just want your thoughts on. I know you have a basketball game tonight. We haven't even talked about it. North Carolina should steamroll Radford. And all respect to Radford, UNC. Caleb Wilson is just an absolute.
He's awesome.
Oh my gosh, is he good?
It's fun to watch. Fun to watch, and a great young man apparently by all standards. And I'm excited to see him play live for the first time. And good news is he's from Atlanta, and I got a new partner riding with me shotgun tonight, Dennis Scott.
Oh,
so we are. My job is to get the ball in his hands because we know what he'll do with it.
You will be the Brian Oliver or the Kenny Anderson.
That's it. You got it. I'm the guy that's going to share the sugar, as they say. So,
let me ask you one quick question. Brian Kelly at LSU. Is LSU's goal here to ruin their football program?
It's a long answer, but I would say this: they're not alone in the club. Let's put it that way. There's some people doing some things right now that are making decisions emotionally and acting as if money is monopoly money, and it's not. That if you're not careful economically, you're going to strap your football program into a bad spot.
I mean, but they're going to end up paying the $53 million, but they're acting like such fools that it's going to be hard for them to get the top available candidate, and you could argue that LSU is the best available job.
And somebody is going to hire somebody that either previously coached there or coached somewhere else, and you're going to go, wait a second. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Arkansas, there is a possibility Arkansas hires the interim head coach right now who used to be their head coach. And we know why he was no longer the head coach.
Yep. Oh, that would be perfect for Arkansas.
Arkansas, not only are they going to repeat their sins? Yes. Are they going to repeat their sins in a dramatic way? Yes. You fired a man who was told to hire the former head coach as an offensive coordinator. Then the head coach got fired. The offensive coordinator was promoted, and now here we are. I'm just offering this to you.
Well, at least he won't ever be the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons again.
I can guarantee that part, which is good, yes.
Wes Durham, you're the best. Enjoy the game tonight. All right, man.
All right, thanks.
Talk to you later. Wes Durham here on the Adam Gold Show. All right, we got one-timers on the other side. You can ask questions. You can go to the YouTube, search Adam Gold Show or 99.9 The Fan. Type your question right there in the chat. Victoria monitors that. I don't. And we'll see what happens in one-timers next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
As a school nurse, I feel like we're really that contact for the schools between the Department of Public Health and what goes on in the school system.
The face of the Department of Public Health in our school is our nurse, Nurse Emma. All the communication that she was receiving and direction she was receiving, she made sure to communicate with us and be a wonderful partner with us.
These kids need their routines.
NC Public Health. Everywhere. Every day. Everyone.
Agriculture drives our local economy. I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agriculture Institute at NC State University, and we are looking for our next generation of leaders. If you want to make a difference and help feed the world, join us at the Ag Institute, where we grow successful graduates, productive futures, and rewarding lifestyles. We offer 2-year degrees and hundreds of internships. Learn more online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
At North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, you're more than a policy, you're family. With offices in every county, we're close by when it matters most. Our local agents customize coverage to fit your life. And our award-winning claims team delivers fast, quality repairs. It's no surprise Forbes ranked us the #1 auto insurer in America. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
Did you know Atlantic hurricane season runs through November? From gathering necessary supplies to planning an evacuation route, now is the time to make sure you and your family are prepared. And if a storm damages our electric system, local public power providers are ready to respond and restore power quickly and safely. As a public power customer, you benefit from having an electricity provider that restores power faster than other providers do. Visit electricities.com for storm preparation tips and resources.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. I've often asked the question, is it a happy Veterans Day to veterans? Yes. To veterans.
Yes.
We'll talk to Chris Spatola, a veteran.
At least to veterans in my life.
Okay.
This is the happier one. Labor Day is the one that's
Labor
not.
Day or Memorial Day?
Yes, Memorial Day. Yes. Sorry, I'm confusing all of mine.
They're the same holiday, different times of the year.
Yes, Memorial Day is the one that you don't say Happy Memorial Day.
All right.
Yes.
So we'll talk to Chris Spatola about Veterans Day. Duke's playing at Army tonight. We'll do that in about 10 minutes. Right now, one-timers.
Okay, so kicking things off, looking at our YouTube stream, or you can add us on Twitter. But first up, someone's asking, do you know the history of Veterans Day?
Do I know the history of Veterans Day? I do not.
Well,
so I can't answer that.
They backed it up and they said it's.
Thank you. Why are they asking me the question then?
They wanted to see if you
trick?
knew, I guess.
It's a trick.
I don't know. They said it started to commemorate World War I, but was changed to honor all veterans and all wars in the late 1940s, early 1950s.
Okay,
so,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
The
He
whole
taught
thing is
you
a setup.
something.
The whole thing is a setup.
Well, the next one is all about the Canes. So this next one from Clinton says, any insight on who draws in tonight in place of Legault?
Yeah, Shane Gostisbehere. He'll play tonight. It looks like it'll be Walker and Miller, Nikishin and Gostisbehere, Riley and Nystrom. That'll be your 6 on the back end forward group remains unchanged from the team that torched Toronto on Sunday.
Nice. Well, hopefully again tonight. Also, with the Canes being 79-5 when Jarvis scores, is he the Canes MVP?
I said this before when we talk about who their most valuable player has been. For me, and Jarvis has been great, their MVP has been Sean Walker. He leads them in ice time. And I don't even know what his plus minus is right now because plus minus can be a stupid stat, a very misleading stat. He was at one point like a -3 or a -4, and I promise you he was their best defenseman. So Sean Walker to me has been their MVP.
Next up we have, let's see, who will be next in line from the Wolves to bolster the D-core?
We were actually talking about that at the morning skate today. To bolster the D-core, like Gavin Bayreuther is here. He would be the 11th different defenseman to dress if he played. I think probably Ronan Seeley would come up. But honestly, they don't really have much. There's nothing else that could really help them at the NHL level. They could avoid a catastrophe at the NHL level, but nothing's going to help them. I do think that Chatfield and Slavin within the next 2 weeks, I think we probably see one or both of them return.
Okay, and this might be last up. What needs to happen, in your opinion, to, quote, fix the Panthers?
To fix the Panthers? Gosh, they need time. They need better players. I was going back and forth. This is a longer conversation than we can answer in 10 seconds. But they still need to fix the roster.
Asheville to Wilmington, Boone to Durham, The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
This Veterans Day, 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports Radio salute those who served in our nation's armed forces.
Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they've suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us.
To the men and women who stood watch at home and abroad, and for the friends and families who waited for them to come home, we say thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day from 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports Radio.
It's the final days of Chevrolet truck season at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford. Get behind the wheel of America's favorite truck with up to $11,500 off all remaining new 2025 Chevrolet Silverado 1500s. Includes Wilkinson discount, customer cash, bonus cash, Costco member incentive, and trade assistance. See dealer for complete details. Stop by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC in Sanford today or shop online anytime at wilkinsoncars.com. Together, let's drive.
At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit firstcarolinabank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
It's Bo time. Fumbling the food on game day? Rookie move. But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixins to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is what breaking news on WRAL sounds like.
Sky 5 captured the moments a high-speed chase ended in a crash.
From the moments that matter.
Let's take a look at those live pictures right now from Sky 5, and you can see
when seconds count. Authorities say they are very concerned for the safety of the public. When your safety is the priority.
It's still an active scene. Take a look behind
And
me.
we begin at 6 with that breaking news. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens. Watch WRAL News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! All of us have a role to play in promoting a mental health friendly workplace. Learn more at whatcanyoudocampaign.org.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
One, who's number 2? Did Texas A&M do enough to unseat Indiana for the number 2 spot? And 2, how far does BYU fall? And I think the selection committee is going to have serious conversations about both of those spots. There will also be people in that room who say, look, this is a 3-6 Penn State team. You know, I know they gave it all that they had, but this is not the Penn State team that everyone thought it was going to be. So I think that factors into the conversation.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We will talk college football a little bit later on. We actually already talked it with Wes Durham. Going to focus for the next little bit on the reasons so many of you are off work today. And it is Veterans Day. My son is at home observing Veterans Day. Probably with a game controller. Chris Spatola, ESPN, Sirius XM, he's everywhere. Also a veteran of the United States Army. Sir, welcome to the show. Thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day to you.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. I don't know what he's everywhere. What is that? What do you mean by that? That sounds pejorative.
No, you're like I turn the TV on, and there's Chris Spatola's voice.
All right. Well, hey, you're watching the right things then, obviously.
100%. I have a Chris Spatola radar, I believe, that directs me. Oh, there's Chris again. Like I heard you during the Duke exhibition game, which I thought was awesome. We're going to talk basketball. Before I get to hoops, just. You know, when it's Veterans Day, so what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about I'm sure the time you served, who you served with, and whatnot. So when I say Happy Veterans Day to you, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, and I always appreciate you putting so much into it. It's funny, Adam. Each year I think about different things, and this morning. You know, my wife and I went through it together. Like we were out living I was first stationed in Oklahoma, and I was not this gung ho military guy. I got to that point, and I served proudly, and I served as well as I could, but it was never what I had intended. I went to West Point to go play basketball. And so when I was finally out in the active Army and I was stationed out in Oklahoma and I had to drag – my wife and I had just gotten married and I had to drag her out there, we did it together. And it was interesting. It was funny. This morning we were sitting before the kids got up, she and I were sitting at the breakfast table, and she said, oh, and she doesn't get all that because she lived it. So she doesn't, she's not all in on, hey, happy –
Right.
But she said, hey, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. And I was skeptical. Like, does she really mean this? What is she doing? Am I being had here? And I said, well, thanks. Thank you so much. I said, we did that together. And, I think we did it together. And so the thing that I've been thinking a lot about today is obviously we want to thank veterans and anybody who has served, but what these families commit to doing that, obviously wives, husbands, sons and daughters, but all family of veterans, what you have to commit in order to make that work is significant. So that's what I was thinking about today, man.
I do find it very funny, as you heard me laughing, how, like, wait a second, there's something going on here.
Right.
My wife is thanking me. Like, I get that too at home, obviously not for military service, but for other reasons. But like, thank you for doing that. I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? I did something right. It's getting brought up. I must have done something wrong. So, the sports and the military are so intertwined. How do you feel about the association? I know sometimes it's paid, right? I'm like that in some ways bothers me, but maybe it shouldn't. But how does somebody who did serve? How do you process the intertwining of the sports world and the U.S. military?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a process. I mean, I'll speak to you first as an athlete. I mean, I learned as much about leadership from being a cadet as I did from playing a sport and playing a sport at West Point, but playing a sport in general. I mean, obviously there are, to your point, there's a lot of intersection between what it means to be an athlete, to be on a team, and ultimately to be in the military and to serve. And, it's funny. Well, not funny, but it was very resonating for me, Adam. This was back in 2012. I went to the funeral for a friend of mine. He died in Afghanistan, somebody that I went to West Point with and served in Oklahoma with. And at his funeral, on the program, was written, "Who will go for us? Send me." And it's a Bible verse, and I'm not hugely religious, but that just on its face really resonated with me. This idea of, being out there for those to your left and your right, and who's willing to do this? Okay, I'll do it. Send me. And that was, that sort of, obviously, that can transcend anything. I mean, we have obviously a lot going on nationally now and within sport and all of that. But that's sort of, there's a nobility in that way of thinking. And I think that's where sort of that intersection between sport and the military really came through, that idea of selfless service and being about those who are around you. And that's what it's meant for me. And I think that's why, it's interesting. You see all these teams now that are doing this, summer Navy SEAL training and military training and all that, because of, all of that overlapping methodology and value systems, et cetera.
Tiger Woods used to train with Navy SEALs. We could actually blame the Navy SEALs for Tiger's deteriorating body, because he definitely overdid it. I'm really not blaming the Navy SEAls. Chris Spatola is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I know somebody you know very well, and we all do, although not quite at the same level, Mike Krzyzewski, who went to West Point. He was the point guard at West Point a couple of years before you were the point guard at West Point. And he's on the trip with Duke up at Army. He's probably, I don't know if he's the highest profile athlete, because he wasn't really a high profile athlete. We would have David Robinson for that, probably, at least in terms of modern athletes that served in the military or went to a military academy and then became a pro. But the significance of Duke playing at Army today is what to you?
Yeah, an incredible gesture by Shire to do that, and shows the way that dude thinks. Obviously thinking much bigger than simply about this moment in time and his program and should we be going to play at Army? Yeah, I think it's an incredible gesture on John's part. And to be honest, and you know this, Adam, like his players are better for it. I mean, his players after this experience, I know they were up there practicing yesterday and, had a chance to tour West Point. And for those athletes, that's going to be a lifetime memory. So I think he's doing his players a great service. And then to do it on Veterans Day, to the point we were making about families, to allow the West Point community to drink in Duke basketball, all of that outside of Coach K, it's an incredible gesture and I think just a great moment. And then for Coach K, to have this, I was texting with him last night I think he's incredibly moved by it, Adam. And I think this is a guy, and he and I were similar in terms of, and you said a couple of years apart, obviously that was quite hyperbole on your part.
Well, he looks very young. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you still have dark hair, black hair at his age,
right.
that'll happen. But he and I were similar in the respect that we were not model cadets. It gets back to the point. Like I was not a GI Joe, and
right.
neither was Coach K. But what we took from that experience, that 4-year experience, was a value system that we've lived our lives with. And then what he coached with. And while his tone and the way he talked to players and the way he handled players, that changed as generations changed. But the value system and what he demanded based on that value system that he developed in his time as a cadet and then coaching at West Point, that he was never willing to compromise those things. And they served as the foundation for him, throughout his life. And so I think to be up there and they're honoring him and to have both of those worlds colliding on West Point's camp at Post, I think really means a lot to him at this point in his life. And again, it goes back to the gesture from Shire to do that.
Your thoughts quickly, Chris Spatola, and we have a few more minutes, but I want to try to get to a couple of other things and maybe even talk basketball. I don't know. But the Duke's program now versus Duke's program when you were an assistant there, now 15 or so years ago, right?
Yeah.
What is the evolution of the program? Obviously, the rules in college sports have changed, and that obviously has a tremendous impact on it. But when you look at this program today, does it look at all like the program when you were a coach there?
It does a little bit. I was there, Adam, towards the, ironically, right after Shire won the title. Like, we had gotten into the social media world, like the branding of Duke basketball became a real thing. And I don't think, things were presented to Coach K. Like they have a guy who headed up their social media, who I'm sure you've met, a guy named Dave Bradley, who, was way ahead of the curve, was way ahead of everybody, and had presented this stuff to Coach K. Here's what we want to do on this thing called Twitter. Here's what we want to do on this thing called Instagram. And I don't think Coach K had any idea what Dave was talking about. But to Coach K's credit, he believed in it, he bought into it, and invested in it. And so that stuff, I was at the infant stages of that, and to see how that has grown is pretty remarkable. I think John has modernized the program to the standpoint of just look at the staff. I mean, when I was there, I was the only non-Duke player who was on staff.
Yeah.
The way that John has now constructed his staff, he's gone outside of that paradigm, and I think it's a good thing. I really do. I think it's been good for John. So that, the composition of his staff looks a little bit different. And then the way he's going about recruiting is a little bit different than we did, but not significantly, but a little bit. So there are some subtle things, but and it's more of a modern day version of that program. And but there's still, if you look through, I mean, there's still the foundations of things that were laid, certainly when I was there, between 2007 and 2012, the infancy of some of those things, to see how it's grown is pretty incredible.
Final thing about that, is John, you never want to be the guy who follows the guy. You want to be the guy who follows the guy who follows the guy, because the shoes are just too big. And there are no bigger shoes anywhere than the ones that Mike Krzyzewski left behind. Is John better than you expected him to be?
He has been better more quickly. I always knew John was going to be a coach. I mean, he was the definition of a player's coach or a coach's player, or however you want to phrase that. I mean, he was like the translator. He was. I mean, I'm telling you stuff you already know about John as a player. He was him. So you knew he was going to be a coach. The thing that's been so impressive to me is how he really has not lost a step. And as critical as, I'll just speak from my observations during that year in residence when they were doing the succession plan and, the Coach K went on his farewell tour, I was critical of that. I did not think that was a good thing, more so from the standpoint of how Coach K would be perceived, what it would do to him and his image long term. Turns out, I'm just a young, arrogant, guy speaking out of school, has no idea what he's talking about. That's where I think that year, specifically from a recruiting standpoint, where they were to sort of to have that overlap and that sort of, you go back to the military conversation we're having, the idea of a change of command, that's why you have it that way in the military. So there's a level of continuity. So the fact that it has come so quickly to John has been, that's been a little bit surprising.
I mean, he is super smooth in how he in everything he does. I love John. I loved him as a player. I sort of kept in touch with him when he was playing overseas. When he came back to the program as an assistant, he has been tremendous. Obviously, the success. I know they haven't won a national championship because that's how success is unfortunately measured at Duke. If you haven't done that yet, you're still. And now he's going to have to win not only one, but he probably has to win 5. Otherwise, the shadow is just too great. Before I let you go, are you excited for Triangle Area ACC basketball this year?
I am. And you know me, I keep it 100. I am, man. I had Carolina in their opener. I think there's a lot to like about them. And look, I went over and watched NC State practice during the summer, and I like the vibe. I don't know how good they're going to be. I think they're going to be, we will have time to break them down. I think there's a lot that they have to figure out. But I love the vibe, and I love everything about, I think, how this year is going to unfold. So I'm excited.
I thank you very much, Chris Spatola. You can follow him on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I don't care if it's changed its name. At Chris_Spatola. And you can also, he has his own website. You're a man ahead of his own time.
Thank you.
I thank you very much for everything, sir. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, my pleasure, Adam. Take care.
You got it. Chris Spatola here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, a question we got before about what did the Panthers need? How did the Panthers take another step? Julian Council, who covers the Panthers in Charlotte, podcast, TV appearances everywhere. We're going to talk about this version of the Panthers, but also how they become a better version of the Panthers. Are they right now trending in the right direction, or are they sort of just treading? Next.
Still arguing whether hockey or golf has the tougher dress code? The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today. Powered by Aspire Money Management.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate down to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal. Just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low. Act now. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 and see how much cash you can get today. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift it lets them dream just for a bit.
Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Want to score points with your boss? Recruit RoofWorks to your building maintenance team to handle your commercial roofing needs. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We've helped hundreds of Triangle businesses with their commercial roof maintenance, repairs, and if necessary, total replacements. Our pros come to your site, assess your roofing needs, and then give you a range of options to fit your budget. And we'd love to work with you. For roof maintenance and repair, contact us today at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Come see Atlantic Spas and Billiards' brand new showroom. More wellness to experience with state-of-the-art Tilo saunas to see, more hot spring and Caldera hot tubs to sit in, and a full-service billiard and dart pro shop. Shop for awesome holiday gift ideas from grills to game tables. Outdoor recreation takes center stage with ping pong, foosball, pool tables, and more. Remodeling floor models and demos available for great pricing. Shop now and experience the beautiful brand new showroom, Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Glenwood Avenue, Raleigh, AtlanticSBNC.com.
Catch every single moment. The Dugout Tavern and Grill is an official member of the Canes Bar Network. With the NHL package, we broadcast all available games on the 16-foot high-definition video wall. Soak in the energy on our indoor-outdoor patio and bar, where you can see and hear the games. Plus, enjoy drink specials and a terrific menu. It's like you're on the ice, but better. The Dugout Tavern and Grill, Kelly Road in Apex, and thedugouttavern.com.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
This is Adam Gold.
Steve Bettman take all that time to walk out, then to see the pick, bro hug no less than 20 guys on his way up there. And then this draft house, they just moved this wall like the Price is Right. I don't know.
It's a showcase showdown back there.
I know.
That would be great. So we should spin a wheel,
yeah,
right? Exactly.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. Happy Veterans Day.
Yes, this is Army. I told Chris I had it ready, but we had him with the
right,
open.
Exactly. It's all right.
It's okay. He said it was a thought that counts. So.
Love talking to Chris Spatola.
Yes.
I also love talking to Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast, who joins us now on the Adam Gold Show. Did you think after the win over Green Bay that we would be talking about how in the heck did you lose at home to the Saints?
I didn't think we'd be talking about it, but I knew it was a distinct possibility, and I was never going to rule it out, Adam. I remember on Sunday, right before they kicked off, Nick Carboni, who's the sports director over at WCNC here in Charlotte, he was asking me, am I crazy to think there's no way they can lose this game? And I told him, yes. Yes, you are crazy to believe that. Because, I mean, first off, it's the NFL.
Right.
So anybody can win on any given Sunday. We know that. And then secondly, it's the Carolina Panthers, man. Of course they can lose this game to the Saints. And unfortunately, it became pretty clear there in that first half that it was going to be one of those Sundays yet again for the Panthers.
Here's what struck me. Julian Council, Locked On Panthers podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at Julian Council. based on just the first 4 drives, and I put this on Twitter, and I got pushback for some silly reason other than the fact that it's Twitter, was a fortuitous touchdown because the roughing the passer penalty had nothing to do with the interception, but it was the right call because Bryce Young was hit in the face after he threw the ball. So, we take the interception off the board, and the Panthers backed it up by scoring a touchdown. But the other 3 drives were terrible. They did nothing. And I thought, man, the Saints aren't, they're not incompetent, but they're 1 in whatever or 2 in whatever. Well, we guess 1 in whatever for a reason. And why does this team look so bad? And why do they look like they have no plan B if it's not Rico Dowdle? What are your thoughts on that part? Because that to me was the thing that stuck out about the game, was that they just didn't have, we don't have our fastball, so, we're just going to get our brains beat in today. Do you have another pitch? And they didn't have one.
No, they didn't. And honestly, when that pitch is working, it's unhittable, and it has been in the previous 3 games that Rico Dowdle has started at running back for this team this season. But you're right, had that interception stood, the first half drive chart would have been interception, punt, 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 end of half. That's not getting it done. And so they were fortunate. It was fortuitous that was showing you, this is going to be one of those days when Bryce just throws a terrible ball behind his receiver and it gets picked off. And of course, to get bailed out in that situation. But they have a problem here with this offense. And it's not like it's something new. We have seen throughout the season, aside from the Arizona game, in the second half, really, this has not been a high-level passing game. This has not been a passing attack, whether it's been Bryce Young, whether it's been the receivers, where they've been injured, that being a tight end and a wide receiver position, that has been down in, down out, series to series, quarter to quarter, efficient. And eventually, looking at what they were doing successfully, which is running the ball with Rico Dowdle, a team was going to bow up and be able to stop them and at least force them to make Bryce Young beat them. And on Sunday, that's what the Saints did. Even if they were sitting at 1-8, they still have a solid defense in front with DeMario Davis there at linebacker, Pete Warner, and then what they have in that front 4. And they were able to force Carolina to try to beat them through the air, and the Panthers were not able to do it. And that's going to tell the rest of their opponents, including the Saints again later on in December, that's the formula beating this team at this point in time.
Julian Council is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. So this is a question I keep getting, and I don't think there's a simple answer to it unless you think there is. And I'm not going to necessarily debate it. We could discuss it. Is this team a quarterback away from being good, assuming that Bryce Young is not the answer? And I absolutely understand why there are doubts. Are they a good quarterback away from being a good offense? Or are there other issues?
Offensively, if we're just sticking to the offense and not just the entirety of the team, offensively, that could be the case. And we'll find out over the next 7 weeks of this season whether Bryce Young truly is holding them back. And I do think it's great, the fact that they're going to be playing against Atlanta again on Sunday, but not really them, but they're playing the Rams, they're playing the 49ers, they're playing Tampa twice, they're playing the Seahawks, they're playing legitimate playoff caliber teams, and they're sitting here at 5-5. So they are still in position to get a wild card, probably more realistically, if you want to see it as realistic at all, as far as playoff options, winning the division. If Tampa loses on Sunday and Carolina wins, they're only a half game back of the Buccaneers going into the final 6 games of the season, which is a great spot I think every fan would have signed up for back in August and even earlier than that. But, we'll find out whether that's the case. I look at it right now offensively. The offensive line is the highest paid offensive line in football. They're going to have Ekwonu back next season. They're going to have Damian Lewis. They're going to have Robert Hunt come back, and they're going to have Taylor Moton. We'll figure out what they do at center. Likely Cade Mays will be stepping in there again next season. So you're good there up front for next year and a couple of years down the road as well. At tight end, I think they're fine with Tommy Tremble, with Mitchell Evans, and also with Jatavion Sanders, just to need to see the natural progression with those young guys in that room. Running back, we'll find out what they do after this season, but I'm not really concerned about what the running back will look like at the end because they have ETN, Will Ferrell, and Jonathan Brooks can do. Chuba is better than what he's shown, and then we'll find about Rico Dowdle. Receiver, there's some questions because Tedero McMillan right now is the only guy that's really shown a lot this season. Xavier Legette, I'm not seeing it right now. I only got one target on Sunday. Was that Bryce Young? Was that him not being open? Was that just the progressions not getting to him? I don't know, but I see one receiver that really would concern you, not necessarily scare you, but concern you. So that could be an area to look at as well. But yeah, the quarterback, I mean, he's a big piece of the offense, as we know, and a piece of the puzzle, and maybe the piece of the puzzle. So offensively, there's a really good argument to say that he's holding them back, but I think there's a lot of questions about the wide receiver room as well.
And maybe that speaks to why they're not taking shots down the field. Here's the thing. I saw this, and I forget exactly the name of the person who put it out. But he works for one of the – is an analyst for one of the sports betting companies.
Oh, it's probably with Josh Norris from Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, okay. So when he puts out that last year in the second half of the year, as Bryce was making progress as a quarterback, they were an offense that was taking more shots down the field. And we would I mean, they didn't have better wide receivers last year than they do now. They had, at the very least, they had the same wide receivers as they do now. They were taking more shots down the field. They were more successful on a higher percentage of those shots than they're doing today. So why would you take a step back over the first half of this year after the second half of last year?
Well, if you look at it, and by the way, Josh is a guy from Charlotte and Elon guy as well. So this is a dude who actually grew up a Panthers
super
fan.
smart
And,
then.
Yeah, super smart.
Probably
and he
handsome.
He started off his career working with the Rams back when they were in St. Louis. So this guy knows ball. But yeah, that's really what the tie is there, especially for Carolina. Like, he's always going to be pretty hyper focused on what's happening with the Panthers, and those are great numbers because I was actually looking up some of those numbers myself before you even put out that tweet, and I was like, okay, that's very helpful. I think you have to look at the fact that when Bryce came back in last year, Adam, that Denver game, how many shots were they taking downfield? None.
Right.
And when
that was an
he played in
embarrassing
game.
That was an embarrassing offensive game.
Exactly. And all the garbage time stuff, okay, cool, that was awesome, but he threw 2 interceptions in that game. Then the next week wasn't like they were throwing a lot of balls down the field against New Orleans in that win against the Giants. The defense had 3 takeaways that day, but Dave Canales did say after that game that Bryce was showing them something as they had won back-to-back games. Then from then on, that's where it really started to pick up against Kansas City, against Tampa, and against Philadelphia, where he had some really bright days. That's because the coach had confidence in him. Go back to week 1 of the season. What did Bryce Young do? Threw 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. The next week, fumbles on the first drive of the game, has an interception later on as well. Now, obviously, the blitz pickup, that was a concern, but that's 5 turnovers in the first 2 games. So after that, when you're seeing those issues, maybe you're not really trying to throw the ball down the field that much. It's not like they did a lot of it against the Falcons in their win. The offense honestly wasn't good.
Right.
And then the game after that, they weren't good against the Patriots. And against Miami, what did you do? 2 early turnovers in that game that spotted the Dolphins a 17-0 lead, and then eventually they had to throw the ball. Now, Rico was obviously the catalyst in that game, but you look at the turnovers. Like, of course he doesn't really trust it down the field, for him to throw it down the field when you finally had trust in him, and he comes out immediately, has 5 turnovers the first couple of weeks, and then after that, why go to that when you're having success on the ground running the football? So I think it's a lot to do with Dave Canales not trusting Bryce Young. And honestly, can you really blame him just based off of some of the issues that he's had turning football over this year, where 51 points have come off of turnovers for their opponents this season? Like, that's untenable, the situation for Carolina moving forward. So we'll see, just knowing that they're probably not going to have much of a choice to try to expand the offense, throw down the field, if Dave's willing to do it. And the fact that it's even gotten to this point basically tells you how he feels about the guy that he has under center, or maybe it's his own inefficiencies that Dave Canales has as a play caller.
My counter to that is simply, if you don't do it, nothing else will work. Because ultimately, the Saints showed the league that, all right, we can put 8 or 9 in the box, slow down, if not stop cold, Rico Dowdle and their running game, and they will not even try to make us pay for it. Because if you're going to load the line of scrimmage with as many players as New Orleans did, and you're not even willing to take shots down the field And the one time they did was probably a dumb idea anyway on 4th and 3 when really all you needed was a first down. And frankly, that's where another example of, man, Xavier Legette might not be it, because I thought that was a catchable ball, and he just didn't really make enough of an effort to get free to catch it.
Some alligator arms there.
Yeah, it was just no good. It reminded me of the opening week when Tedero and McMillan went up and tried to make a one-handed catch when he could have elevated and caught it with two hands. And he called himself out in the locker room after the game. I appreciated that because, I thought that was a catchable ball. And, all the Twitter coaches were like, no, it was a terrible throw. I'm like, I don't think it was, but never mind. They got to try it because you have to put it in somebody's mind that they are willing to take shots. It doesn't have to be a post pattern or a go route, but he throws the ball over the middle fairly well. But they just don't really do a lot of it. It's to me, it's troubling. They also don't roll him out enough. Like, get him moving. He's good moving. I just don't know. There was so little creativity against New Orleans. It almost felt like they were arrogant enough to think that we could just do what we do and win the game.
Yeah, or he just was afraid for him to put the ball in harm's way, which eventually did happen later on in that game. I don't know what the issue is. I mean, Dave sat there yesterday, and I was in there in that press conference, and he just talked about how they just got to execute better, and it's got to be everybody. It's not just Bryce and yada. I don't think they have a lot of answers at this point in time, but we're going to get hopefully a firm answer as far as what they have at quarterback, what they have offensively over the next 7 games, because they have to go into this offseason knowing what direction they need to go in. And I mean, I look at the quarterback market in the league, it's just like, I mean, who do you go get if Bryce Young is not going to be the answer? Like Mac Jones has looked good. You're going to trade for Mac Jones. Are you trying to trade for Mac Jones? I don't think so. No. But who's to say? I mean, Dave Canales think Kyle Shanahan. I mean, guys, we see Kyle Shanahan work with every quarterback to have success. You think Dave Canales is having success with Jimmy Garoppolo?
No.
You think he was going to have success with Brock? I don't think so. So that's an idea, but I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to work with the current setup.
Is Dave Canales the guy?
I don't know. I have more belief right now that he is the right coach than I have belief in that Bryce is the right quarterback. I will say that because I give him a lot of credit for the decision to sit Bryce last year. I didn't love the messaging afterwards, as far as like when Bryce is going to come in and all the standing by an Andy Dalton kind of situation until Andy got hurt, and then even after that, it took a little bit, I think, kind of rightfully so, for him to say like, yeah, Bryce is our guy. And then you look at just the unpreparedness of the team. Like Ike Ekwonu admitted that they weren't focused last week. Like how does that happen? That's on the leadership of the team, whether that's the leaders in the locker room, the head coach. So even when they lose, they typically get blown the hell out. So that's just kind of one of those things where how does that happen? How do you constantly get out coach? I don't know if he's a great play caller because the Tampa offense, certainly got a lot better when Liam Cohen was at OC last year than when Dave was there.
Right.
So I think it's a mixed bag, and it's only been how many games? 27 games so far of his tenure. So, and he's 10-17. It's still early.
Yeah, it is. I will admit to have been out on Dave Canales since last year, but that's another matter altogether. I have, and a lot of it came from when he benched Bryce. And that was the right decision. Bryce was so bad through the first 2 games. You couldn't send him out there. Frankly, I would have benched him after the first 2 series against the Dolphins. And I said it. I'm like, you can't send him back out there. The interception was bad. The fumble was worse. He just threw the ball on the ground on the fumble. Like he didn't want any part of that play. I thought you can't send him back out there. He threw a screen pass that hit his offensive lineman in the head. Like I could not believe what I saw in the first 2 series, but to his credit, even though they didn't throw for a lot of yards that game, he turned it around. I thought the pass to Legette.
He made the plays they needed to win the game.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about it. Like he has these mind-numbingly bad mistakes that he didn't do this back in Alabama. Like that's the thing when I watch this guy now, I was like, what the hell happened to this kid? Because he was not like that. And I get it's college, like Bama's got better players, all that, but we didn't see this from him back then. And now you see like so many mistakes and like the lack of production, like the lack of like being able to just to cut it loose. I don't know. I really don't understand what's going on. And this is another example that momentum does not carry over season to season. Once season ends, it's a brand new year,
Agree.
brand new guys who got to figure out things. And yeah, he looked great back in January in week 18 against Atlanta. And we have not seen even remotely that guy. The only time he had a big passing performance, they were down 20-3.
Right.
And Arizona had secondary players dropping like flies in that game. It was garbage time. And then all of a sudden they got an onside kick. And then when he got it, how many passing yards did he have after that? 0.
Yeah.
They couldn't complete a pass.
They were
so when
awful.
It mattered most. So I don't know. I don't know. I want it for him because I've appreciated him back when he was at Bama. He's a nice guy to talk to and to cover. It's just, but it's the NFL, man. It's a results-oriented league. It's a meritocracy, all that. Blah blah. You know, he's not getting it done. But I don't know if it's all on him or if it's the coach, if it's the receivers. Again, we'll find out hopefully in 7 games what exactly the course of action is for this team heading into the offseason.
2 very quick things. One, and this might just be a statement you can nod in agreement or not.
Sure.
What I don't like about Bryce is that when I watch Baker Mayfield, he carries himself like a number 1. That's even when Baker was bad with the Panthers, he always carried himself like the man. Bryce Young, even when he's good, I don't get that sense from him. That's my biggest fault with him. Apart from the turnovers, I don't sense take the team by the back of the neck and drag them. But I get that from Bryce. I don't get that from Sam Darnold either, but I get it from Baker Mayfield. So that's just I guess a statement from me. The other part of this is, do you think they are on track to be with whether it's the quarterback or adding personnel here and there? Do you think they are on track to be a legitimate playoff contender next year?
Possibly. I do think they're on track to obviously improve from what they did last season, get to maybe 7-8 wins this year, depending on how things play out the rest of the season. Like I think that so that would mean if we're just going to natural progression, you go from 5 wins, you go from 2 to 5 to 8, then maybe, next year you would think realistically you're a playoff contender. The things that I look at right now that certainly would hold them back from that is the quarterback play and the pass rush. In this league, you're just not going to be able to win if you don't have a quarterback who you can rely on to have an efficient, effective passing game, and if you get 0 pressure on the quarterback. Now, they got pressure on Tyler Shuck on Sunday. They had one of the best pressure rates of the season. Didn't really matter because he evaded him and made some big plays off of that pass rush. So they got to get home. But right now, they're pretty young there with Nick Scorton, Princey Monbielin. It's going to come in time. It's not going to happen this season. They're veterans. Pat Jones out for the season. DJ Wonnum has a grand total of 0 sacks so far this year, so that's not paying off for them. But yeah, they got to figure out what they're doing at quarterback and improve there, whether it's with Bryce or with somebody else, and they've got to find a pass rush because they have not had one the last couple of seasons. Even the last year Brian Burns was here, that still was not a great pass rush in Carolina. So yeah, they're on track because you're building, right? So that's a part of the building process, and that's going to be really what they're going to have to focus on in the offseason, of course, depending upon how the next 7 games play out.
Julian Council, I love talking to you, man. At Julian Council on Twitter. Next time, Liverpool will look like a top 4 Premier League side, and we could talk about that. But I'm not anticipating that.
Yeah, I'm caught up in American football right now, and
I understand.
Yes, I see the scores where I'm like,
you didn't miss
so I
anything.
guess that's what happened when you tear down a championship club.
Yeah.
And bring in new guys. Whatever, it is what it is.
You didn't miss anything on Sunday. I'll talk to you soon, my man. I appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, Adam.
You got it. Julian Council here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, we're going to stretch. We're going to place bets. Right. I also want to mention, just kind of go over a couple of things that we chatted about with Julian Council. Next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And you know what's really fun? Same-game parlays. Especially if you hit them, they pay out. Points, rebounds, threes, assists, whatever you want to do. Man, the NBA is a box score league. And get in on the action. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So pick something easy and win. And then win again, and then win again with FanDuel's money. It's always better to bet with somebody else's money. FanDuel.com/AGS, FanDuel.com/AGS, official sports betting partner of the NBA.
21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
We had to exit the home pretty quickly because of how quickly the water came in. It was just really vital to me whenever all the public service announcements were going out, that we needed to get our water tested.
We need to, get in the field and start helping people disinfect their water supplies.
It's really critical to their health to be able to have that safe drinking water.
They were reaching out to me to make sure that I knew that there were resources available.
NC Public Health. Everywhere, every day, everyone.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
Are you looking for a 2-year hands-on agricultural degree while still gaining the university experience? I'm Lee Ivey, Director of the Agricultural Institute at NC State University. We offer 6 associate's degrees that span the agricultural industry and set our students up to meet their goals. Come live on campus, learn on our farms, and be a part of the NC State community. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities. The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
This is Adam Gold.
We're going to have Seth on the show next week when he gets back from vacation. He was by a pool.
What are you doing? Get off Twitter. It's nicer to be on Twitter when you're by a pool anyway.
No, just stop. Stop engaging with people.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Thank you very much for spending part of your Veterans Day with us. Victoria's here. You're bopping back in there
I know,
to Anchors Away.
This is my band nerdiness
Right.
because this is all like marching bands.
You were a marching band nerd, right?
Yes.
What did you play an instrument?
Yes.
What instrument did you play?
I played the flautist, or piccolo, because the piccolo
piccolo.
is really the hardcore marching
Is it?
instrument. It's very tiny and very loud. But then I was a drum major when I was a senior, which is awesome. It was like boss time.
Yeah, exactly right. You're bossing people around.
No, I was fun. It was a lot of fun. But that was my nerdiness. So yeah, Brett Friedlander and I talk about it all the time. I actually have an old school picture of Brett.
Do you
when
really?
he was in marching band. It's fantastic.
How did you get that?
He sent it to me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The things you learn.
I know.
That's fantastic.
It's hilarious. It's great. So, yeah.
All right, good.
Yes. But yes, that's why, because it's like, it takes me back.
All right, good for you.
These people are professional. They're sharp.
Hey, look, to me, marching bands, that's college football.
Yes.
That's what it is.
I know. Honestly, I think it would be awesome if the Super Bowl had like a marching band, because some of the shows are really complex, like drum corps.
Right.
They have awesome shows.
That's what they had actually in the first 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They didn't have a halftime show.
Right.
They just had marching bands.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought out like Syria. I think Southern University's marching band might have been at the first Super Bowl.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
seriously, HBCU marching bands are next level.
Oh yeah, they're fun. Yeah.
Next level. So, yeah, so if you want to, if that's your thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't want Rihanna, I'm not against Rihanna, by the way.
Pregnant Rihanna.
Right. Either way, man, she's floating 1,000 feet in the air.
Right. Yeah.
That's gutsy.
I know.
Like, then go check out the halftime of the first couple of Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Real quick to what Julian Council and we just talked about. I think they're further away than Julian does. Julian's close. I'm not saying I'm right or he's wrong. Like, my perception of it is that they're more than just plugging. Now, if they plugged Joe Burrow into the equation,
yes.
Now we're talking about something different.
Yes.
But they're not. So if they changed quarterbacks to Mac Jones,
oh boy,
you're putting in somebody who is at best a bottom tier starting quarterback in the league. At best.
And we've been there with Teddy Bridgewater before. So
you had Baker, you had Sam.
Yeah.
Right. You had, like, without going back in time, you plug an existing NFL quarterback into this mix, it's just not changing your calculus. Even if he's more consistent, it's not changing your calculus. Maybe what you hope for is that Daniel Jones and the Colts can't agree on a deal and you jump in. I don't believe Daniel Jones has signed anything with Indianapolis yet. And that you jump in and you buy Daniel Jones' affection. I have no idea. Anyway, I think that they're further away in terms of their roster than Julian does. And the reason I said yesterday that I'd be more inclined to burn it down, sell it for parts, and start over with a rebuild is because we saw this remember when the year they drafted, everybody was drafted on the defensive side of the ball. We're going to address defense now, then we're going to go to offense. And do you know how many players are left from that defense?
Like none.
No,
Maybe one.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't that long ago.
No.
And to time the rebuild is really difficult to do. Unless you get lucky, or it's not even luck, unless you draft well and can legitimately find 2 or 3, not only starters, but impact starters in a draft. And then the other guys you draft help your team, whether they're starters or impact subs. Man, I can't remember the last time the Panthers did that. I think their offensive line is good. I don't think their offensive line is great. I don't think Taylor Moton is great on the right side. On top of that, he's old.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line is, and it might happen next year, on the precipice of a decline. And I know you paid a lot of money for Damian Lewis and Robert Hunt. They need him back. Iquanu is I think he's a good left tackle. He's not a great left tackle. Center, Kate Mays is way upgrade over Austin Corbett. I just don't think their offensive line, I don't think their receiver, I don't think their tight end, I don't think these are good enough to be impact positions in the league. That they still need to address all of these things, and hopefully they can get to the point where they can take advantage of how good Derek Brown is. Because we're not that far away from Derek Brown being on the other side. Mm-hmm. Because he has been in the league a minute. And it's a very difficult thing to time, especially when you are in a constant state of rebuild, and especially when you haven't drafted well. And I think the jury is out on whether or not Dan Morgan has drafted well. Now, he has drafted okay so far, but it hasn't been a home run yet. Yeah. So that's my thought on this, and I've babbled long enough to the point where I don't even know what we're gonna have time to do. But Victoria will tell me.
We'll play some bets.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
That's okay. I know we won't have time for 7th inning, but it was about our vets, the top 10 places to live if you're a vet.
Really?
Versus the top worst.
Oh, really?
But Raleigh in the top 10.
Top 10 places to live if you're a vet.
All right,
so,
good. Yes.
That's good for us.
So that was the gist of that one. So,
excellent.
In a nutshell, if you're a vet and you live here, well, kudos to you. We appreciate you. But there's a hockey game tonight. In Lenny, they call it on Twitter. I guess we've decided that it's the Lenny now. So, Carolina Hurricanes and the Capitals. Give me Sebastian Aho to be an anytime goal scorer, plus 155.
All right. I went off the board with our friend Tim Donnelly, but I'm going to leave the one I gave him alone. And we're going to go anytime goal scorer. Taylor Hall tonight is plus 420.
Whoa.
Taylor Hall. Anytime goal scorer.
I love Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
He's a good one. And this game, I'm going to say, I usually get half of it right. Give me our Canes to win. And I'm going to go under 6.5, plus 180.
I can see low scoring here as well. By the way, it's a lot of games in the NHL tonight. There are 9 games. Give me the Montreal Canadiens and Dallas Stars to each win in a parlay. It's plus 294.
Delivering more hits than the Canes forecheck.
Shoot, he scores!
The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller. Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. The man who invented the no-closing cost mortgage. The man who invented your ability to save thousands of dollars when you buy a house or when you refinance. Miller Lending. This is the way to go. Don't have all of the closing costs rolled into the loan amount, as happens in so many other places. Don't fall for the other tricks and shell games you see everywhere. Go to Miller Lending, the original no-closing cost mortgage, and save thousands. Let's take timing out of the equation. Let's say the rates are a little higher right now than they will be in a year. Get your mortgage. You don't delay buying a house. You don't delay the American dream. And then, when the rates come down, you refinance, free of charge, lower your monthly payment, and save thousands and then hundreds. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary. An equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
By this point in the season, the Panthers have proven Plan A works. It's D&D, it's Dowdle, and defense. The next question is, do they have a Plan B? On a day when Rico Dowdle isn't picking up 6 yards a carry, can they still win? And that question falls on the footsteps of Bryce Young. He may have to throw them into a game. Can he?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, where it's your home, your choice, within reach.
It's bow time. Fumble in the food on game day? Rookie move.
But you know Bo can make your tailgate a winner, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Because the Carolina Legend has everything you're craving. We're talking crispy, juicy chicken loaded with real Southern flavor, fluffy scratch-made buttermilk biscuits, and all the fixings to feed your whole crew faster than you can say touchdown. Be the MVP this season and let Bojangles do the cooking. Order your tailgate today. It's Bo time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's Bo time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's Bo time.
Get ready, Durham. The CIAA Football Championship is coming to Durham County Memorial Stadium Saturday, November 15th. Don't miss your chance to experience the culture and tradition of HBCU football as the two top teams in the conference battle it out for the title of CIAA Football Champion. Visit DurhamNCSports.com for more information and to secure your tickets today. That's DurhamNCSports.com for CIAA Football Championship tickets.
Black Friday savings are here at the Home Depot, which means it's time to add new cordless power to your collection. Right now, when you buy a select battery kit from one of our top brands like Ryobi or Milwaukee, you'll get a select tool from that same brand for free. Click into one of our best deals of the season and stock up on tools for all your upcoming projects. Get Black Friday savings happening now at the Home Depot. Limit 1 per transaction. Exclusions apply. Full eligible tool list in-store and online.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
In year one, Jackson Dart looks better than Drake May did in his first year in the league. So you make the switch at coach, you stockpile pieces, you add legitimate weapons around this quarterback, and you add the right head coach, and all of a sudden, you could argue that's the best team in football. So I would think that would be the blueprint. And what did they do? They hired the right CEO in Mike Vrabel, and then they hired, you could say he's not a great offensive mind as far as a head coach is concerned, fine, but Josh McDaniels is as good as they get as far as an offensive coordinator. So that, to me, is what I would try to, replicate if I'm the Giants.
Our old friend Dave Rothenberger. Rothenberg, not Rothenberger. I just completely botched his name. And right after saying our old friend. He used to work here. That's why I brought that up.
Right. Maybe
Anyway.
you're just thinking about lunch. Burgers. just blame it on that.
Me?
Even though I didn't talk about food in the 7th inning. However,
Do you have a favorite was there a segment like typical Veterans Day foods?
I know. Thanksgiving.
What do veterans like to eat?
Jello. Yeah, meat. No, it's it's Thanksgiving mold that Jello is making. But that will be for tomorrow.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Now don't tell me. I went on with the fellas in Charlotte this morning.
Right.
Shouts to all of you at WFNZ in Charlotte for your morning crew. They're when I joined them, they were talking about Thanksgiving side dishes already.
Oh, okay. They're prepared.
Really? What are we doing?
They're excited.
They are. There's discussions about macaroni and cheese and things like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, some people feel some type of way about their sides, so I could see how that might be a thing.
Get into the whole conversation. It'd be an easy one to get into, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody digs it. There are people who don't like the turkey, and that's fine. You don't have to. Nobody's saying you have to. The sides are really everything.
I mean, just the turkey alone is like deep fried or not deep fried. I've heard deep fried's great, but I don't want to blow my house up, so I bake it in the oven.
don't put a frozen turkey.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly.
That's what blows up.
Make sure it's thawed completely. That's key.
But you should make sure it's thawed before you put it in the actual
Right,
oven.
because that helps too. No one
This
likes
should be the
salmonella.
basics. We shouldn't have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you do have to tell people coffee's hot sometimes. So
There was a successful lawsuit.
there is that.
That's why it says contents contained within may be hot.
Be careful.
Careful. Don't spill it on your pants.
People.
Okay. All right, let's do wall of sound.
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
All right, that was Dave Rothenberg talking about the firing of Brian Daboll as the head coach, and he brought it to a conversation about Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots. We talked about this yesterday and how it pertains to Bryce Young, and how when we are sitting here talking about the Panthers and how they get better, let me just explain this to you. Timing is important, okay? When you suck and draft high early in a draft, if you get the right quarterback, remember the last time the Panthers earned the number 1 overall pick. Not traded up for the number 1 overall pick, but earned it. Cam Newton was there.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that there are people who think that was not a fantastic pick. You're drunk.
Yeah. Do you watch football?
He was a superstar, and he made your franchise relevant for as long as he played for it, and he took you to a Super Bowl and he won an MVP. So don't talk to me about, well, Cam just wasn't good enough. He was plenty good enough. The part that we couldn't foresee was that he broke. 6'5", 240 pounds of that broke. Shoulder. Couldn't throw. But that was the last time they earned the number 1 pick. Organically, they dropped Cam Newton into the mix. What happened with Bryce Young was they tried to rush the process. They exhibited no patience. Hashtag David Tepper. And they traded from 9-1, gave up assets, their best player in DJ Moore, and future draft picks, which impacted their ability to build the team. And because of that, the roster looks the way it is. And in addition, they didn't draft well with the picks they had, whether it's before or during or really right after. And this is where the franchise is. So here is my advice to the Panthers or any franchise. Don't rush to get the quarterback. Build your team. Add the quarterback. When your team is ready to win, when your team is ready to compete, drop the quarterback in it. Because if you feel like you have to play the quarterback, at least there is a support system for that quarterback that could kind of shield him from having to make you win rather than help you win. And that is indicative of every NFL quarterback. I don't care who you are. There are very few quarterbacks that come in and just absolutely own the league. You know who didn't last year? Drake May. You know who is this year? Drake May. And don't you know, had the Panthers not traded from 9-1, had they stayed at 9, and I don't even remember who the players were that could have gotten to 9. It doesn't even matter. Had they just quietly, slowly built their team, dealt with whoever they had to deal with at quarterback that year, and then added Drake May.
I wish. Would have been great. ...
Mm-hmm. All right, now to why the Giants moved on from Brian Daboll yesterday. Here's Adam Schefter.
The New York Giants have lost 4 games this season on the road in which they had double-digit leads. They've seen their prized rookie quarterback Jackson Dart be evaluated 4 separate times for concussions during this season. There was the incident with Brian Daboll poking his head around the blue medical tent when Jackson Dart was in there in a Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you see where they ranked offensively in points per game, opponents' points per game, yards per game, opponents' yards per game. They were amongst the bottom of the teams in the National Football League. And the Giants felt today that the best thing to do was to start anew with a head coach. They have dismissed Brian Daboll, and they have named the offensive coordinator Mike Kafka as the interim head coach starting this week.
All right, so who knows if Mike Kafka is going to work out? I mean, he's been around that organization for a bit, but this does smell of interim. Although, who knows? Jackson Dart, they obviously like Jackson Dart to the point where Brian Daboll tried to kill him. There's nothing that says I love this quarterback more than I need him to save my job.
Rub some dirt on it, get back out there.
Exactly. Nothing says I love him more than that. We'll see if Jackson Dart is that player. And I'm not saying that he's not. But I am confident of this. Like every other quarterback, he's a work in progress. Caleb Williams, a work in progress. Still a work in progress. Bryce Young, obviously a work in progress. Drake May looks like he's more advanced. Heck, C.J. Stroud looks like a work in progress. Now in his third year, remember that rookie season. He was the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Like, oh my gosh, top 5 quarterback in the league. Has he been since then? No, all the injuries. Well, so what you're telling me is that the supporting cast matters. Oh, okay. I get it. You're right. The supporting cast does matter. Coaching matters. They just fired his offensive coordinator for the last 2 seasons last year. The same guy that everybody was in love with got fired when nobody hired him as head coach. Talk about that. Anyway, it's hard to be a quarterback in this league. It really is. One more thing about Jackson Dart. And this is Rich Eisen from ESPN Radio and the NFL Network on the impact of Daboll's firing on the quarterback.
Dart has been electric, and clearly part of that has to do with Daboll getting him ready and coaching him up and all of that business. Of course, obviously, it's his own personal abilities as well. But he's also learning in the National Football League. You're born into a situation. Sometimes the guy who's your coach, he's there for just a hot minute. And now, who wants to coach Jackson Dart in the New York City metropolitan area in the NFC East? I imagine they'll be lining up. This is absolutely going to be one of the best jobs that's available, especially since ownership doesn't want to fire you.
The quarterback doesn't get fired. You know what the other problem about quarterback is, especially the rookie quarterbacks? Oh, we get to have a guy on a rookie quarterback salary and we can build the team around him. Problem is, by the time you build the team around him, and I think the Giants might be closer to winning than the Panthers are. But I don't follow the Giants as closely as I follow the Panthers. But I think they probably are closer to being legitimately good than the Panthers are. That's what I believe about the Panthers roster. I could be wrong though, because I don't follow the Giants as closely. All right, we got a break. When we come back, Dan Rosen from NHL.com on a little bit about the Canes who play Washington tonight, and also the surprises around the league. Like some teams, the Hurricanes have already played this year, look legitimately good. Next.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Pack Therapy is in session, thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan, alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Glennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts, and watch every episode on YouTube.
Holiday scratch-offs, what a gift it lets them dream just for a bit. Ski trip, cruise ship, sports car, pristine yard, Courtside seats, fancy meats, holiday scratch-offs can't be beat.
Give the gift of what if from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.19 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
You can finance at just 1.9% for 36 months. Don't miss your chance to save big on a certified car, truck, or SUV you can trust. Stop by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac GMC today in Sanford or shop online anytime at wilkinsoncars.com. See participating dealer for complete details.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 919-205-9800. That's 919-205-9800.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at trajanwealth.com.
Waking up, getting ready, sitting in traffic. Let's face it, getting to work in the morning is a lot of work. But when you get a great deal on your favorite McDonald's coffee, becoming a morning person is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now get any size refreshingly cold iced coffee for $1, a delicious mocha for $2, and a frappe for $3. Available only during breakfast hours. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
Can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
Boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
This is Adam Gold.
You know, soap attracts dirt, right? That's what soap does. It attracts dirt. Right now, Bill Belichick is soap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's soap.
Yeah.
He's attracting all this dirt.
Or he's like an overripe banana and it's attracting all these gnats.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold, Victoria producing the program. Carolina Hurricanes home to the Washington Capitals tonight. These were the two best teams from the Metropolitan Division a year ago. Carolina's up there. Devils have, I believe, 1 point on Carolina after their overtime loss to the Islanders last night. Washington is kind of limping along at 500 so far during the season. Let's talk to Dan Rosen, NHL.com, at DRosenNHL, also host of the podcast At the Rink. I appreciate Dan Rosen's time. We became besties during the playoffs last year. Thank you for still taking the text. I appreciate it.
No, absolutely, Adam. Happy to do it. Thanks for having me on, man.
So your thoughts on where the Capitals are as a team? I thought last year there was a lot of guys that had career seasons, like career highs in points, shooting percentage, all these things, and that there would be some reversion to the mean. I have no idea if I'm right or not, and it is just, 20% of the way through the season? What are your thoughts on what the Capitals are, who they are at this point?
Well, listen, I had the same thought as you, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of guys had career years last year. You go up and down the list, it's not a career year, but Alex Ovechkin scored 44 goals last year, chasing a record.
Right.
At his age, we didn't see that coming, right? We just didn't see that coming.
And he missed a month.
And we shouldn't be surprised. Like, we shouldn't be surprised. The greatest goal scorer of all time. So why are you going to be surprised? But, you expected some regression there just age-wise. You thought it was going to happen. What does he have, 3 goals right now? So you thought that. But beyond that, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jacob Chikrin, Tom Wilson, Dylan Strome. I mean, these guys, Logan Thompson, these guys all had massive years last year, career years, and all had it at one time. And that's why the Capitals were where they were, because everybody played well, and everybody played the system to a T, and they became a very stingy team, too. When they got a lead, it was really hard to come back on them. Well, this year, Dubois now out for a long time. Ovechkin's not scoring as much. Neither is Jacob Chikrin. Dylan Strome missed a couple of games, but he hasn't been as dynamic. Protas, another one, Alexi Protas, who I mentioned, 30-goal scorer a year ago. Alexi Protas, 4 goals this year. So it's been a slow start. Connor McMichael, what did he score? 27, 28, 29 goals. That's just got 1, I think, this season. So this is a reversal. It's a reverse. I didn't expect, to be honest with you, the reversal to be this dramatic, but I expected a reversal back to a little bit better than what we thought the Capitals were going to be going into last season. But maybe they are exactly right now what I thought the Capitals were going to be going into last season, because they surprised a lot of people last year with where they were with how it all worked out for them. Everybody that they brought in a year ago worked. And now it's a different story now.
Dan Rosen is joining us here from NHL.com here on the Adam Gold Show. I'm with you. We got up to around January last year, and I said, all right, Washington's going to come back to the pack. And they never did. They just never did. And it became – we got into like February, and I'm like, all right, the Hurricanes aren't catching Washington. All you got to do is stay ahead of the Devils, and we'll take our chances in the second round with Washington. And obviously, that's the way it worked out. And then the buzzsaw that was the Florida Panthers happened. At least Carolina got a game, even though I would argue that 2 years prior, they were better in getting swept than they were in winning just 1 game from Florida last year. Let me ask you, though, about your view of the Hurricanes, who are still without Jacob Slavin, now without Jalen Chatfield. They will get Shane Gostisbehere back tonight, but played for a half dozen games without Keandre Miller. So all these defensemen, we found, rookie defenseman Charles Alexis Legault, who's a, fringy part of the defensive corps, although playing better of late. Now he punched a skate in Toronto. He had surgery. He's going to be out for almost the rest of the year. Not quite, but probably back in March, something like that. What are your thoughts on where Carolina is at 11-4-0?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, so a week ago, they're at Madison Square Garden. And I do this for a living, Adam. And I got to tell you, they had a couple of defensemen in their lineup who I'd never heard of before. Okay? And I'm not – that's hard for – it's not easily – That's not an easy admission for me. But, yeah, it was true because of the guy without Slavin, Gostisbehere, and Keandre that night too. So, listen, I mean, it's remarkable. It's a testament, obviously. We talk about it all the time. It's a testament to the system that they play. I also thought it was, Rod Brindamore brought up a great point that night. He said it's not like these guys have been away from us for a long time. They were just in training camp with us. They played preseason games with us. They know how we're playing. They can come back in. It's just been about a month, but they can come back in and they can play to their best of their ability. But as long as they play the system, they give them a chance. So and they won that game 3-0.
Yeah.
And I don't believe, and they have not lost since that game, right? So, and then the game against Toronto is like the perfect example of, all right, so they're getting chances and they're doing well in that game through 2 periods, but they're down. They're down a goal. And you're looking at it and saying, well, all right, well, Nylander got us twice, right? Matthews got us once. Tavares got us. It's going to happen. and they come out in the third period and they absolutely shut it down. They absolutely suffocate. Without the Leafs, 22-2 in shots. They score 3 goals. They win the game 5-4. Like that. They played Hurricanes hockey all the way through, and they just caught some breaks there against them, I guess you will, in the early part of that game. And then they were able to come back. They're playing exactly how I figured that Carolina Hurricanes would play, I guess, regardless who is in the lineup. And it's good for them to get Gostisbehere back. Listen, you and I both know they need Slade. They're going to need Slavin here at some point. But they can survive a little bit of time without him, obviously. And listen, I think the Division II allows them to survive a little bit without Jacob Slavin as well. The Devils are playing well. I give them a ton of credit. I think they're for real. But then the rest of the division, I don't know who's for real and I don't know who's not.
Yeah, I'm actually going to play a little bit of a game with you about who's for real and who's just off to a good start in a second. But I mean, Pittsburgh obviously is a huge surprise. Nobody's talking about trading Sidney Crosby now because the Penguins are in the top 3 in the Metropolitan Division, and it is still early because we've seen teams get off to good starts, and we're still in the good start part of this part of the season, and then fall off. And Pittsburgh went into the year figuring that they were not really going to compete for a playoff spot. So in some ways, this is all of a surprise. But that's cool. Let me ask you about Seth Jarvis as it pertains to like the current statistics and what you believe is he targeted for the Canadian Olympic roster, assuming that the NHL is okay with playing on whatever rink they're going to play in Italy, which I don't know why people aren't like constantly talking about this. We don't have a rink that we like yet, do we?
Well, listen, I think there's a thought there that this is going to get done.
Okay.
And they don't, Gary Bettman addressed this at the Board of Governors meeting last month, and he's just like, listen, this is not our event. We are monitoring it. We are keeping abreast of what's going on here. There's no contingency plan that we have put in place, meaning the NHL, and they're continuing to follow the rink build there. Remember, it wasn't so much the rink, but it was a lot of things leading up to the Olympics in Sochi. Got done just at the last minute. I was in Sochi. I walked into the room that I was staying in. It smelled of sawdust.
Right.
Okay. So, but it was done. It was livable. So there, yes, I think there's, there's concern, there's alarm bells, all those things, but they're biding their time and they're hoping that this does get done. As for Jarvis, 10 goals in 15 games, played on the Canadian team at the Four Nations face-off. They clearly like him. They like his style of play. His style of play is needed on a team that can be, and this is not a knock on Jarvis, he's a skilled player. He's got a ton of it, but on a team that's loaded with skill, you need bite.
Yeah.
And that's what Jarvis brings. In addition to the skill, you can't have the same player on every line. It just won't work. So it doesn't make you a balanced team, and Jarvis makes them a more balanced team. So my guess is the start that he's off to, the fact that he was at the Four Nations, the fact that they liked him at the Four Nations, puts him in a really good position to be on Canada's Olympic roster. You have to also look at who else is coming. Yeah. Celebrini, Bedard.
Yeah.
And let's not forget Bo Horvat. Bo Horvat with the New York Islanders is playing like Bo Horvat did before he got traded from the Vancouver Canucks. He's been really good, and he's got 12 goals now. And he also plays the game with some bite and speed, and he's a center too.
Oh, that's an added bonus. Seth Jarvis does take faceoffs occasionally, but that doesn't make him a center. Dan Rosen, NHL.com, At the Rink podcast. All right, so earlier this year when Carolina went on their State Fair road trip, which we do every year, the second stop was Anaheim. And before that road trip, I said after the San Jose start, and by the way, San Jose has a much better record than anybody would have anticipated. They've got a lot of good young players, including Macklin Celebrini. When they went to Anaheim, I said, Anaheim thinks they're a playoff team. I think they're a playoff team. They have now won 7 in a row, and they are absolutely torching teams. Are they for real? Are they a legit Western Conference playoff contender to you?
I think so. I think they're 100% for real, and there's a couple of reasons for that. You got to remember, a couple of years ago, the Anaheim Ducks were not a very good team at all, right? Last place team. I don't even think they got up to 60 points. I don't think they got up to 30 wins 2 years ago. In fact, I think it was 59 points. Well, last year, their second year under Greg Cronin, they were, again, not a good team, but they made a 21-point improvement. And I think that gets lost in the shuffle here of Joel Quenneville coming in and, the young guys pop in and, all of a sudden we're looking at the Anaheim Ducks as a playoff team. They had a 21-point improvement year over year from 2023-24 to 24-25. So if you go by just the progression that they were on, they should be better this year than they were last year. And they are markedly better, obviously, now this year than they were last year. So I thought the Ducks would be pushing for a playoff berth all season long, but maybe fall short. I'm changing my opinion on that because of the way they're playing. Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier have been terrific.
Yep.
Kreider's popping goals in left and right. Obviously, he's got 9 and 11 games. Beckett Seneke has been, really strong, better than I think they would have thought he would have been. But so they have the mixture of like Carlson and Gauthier and Seneke and McTavish, these young guys that are coming on, and Zellweger and all and Lacombe, and then you have the veteran guys in Kreider and Trouba,
yep.
and even though he's not playing, Radko Gudas and Troy Terry, who kind of bridges the two. It's a really good mix, and these guys seem to really push together and get along. And you got a guy like Frank Vetrano, who a couple of years ago would have been a first-line winger for the Ducks. He's a fourth-line winger now with 2 goals, and he's not a bad player.
No,
but that's the growth that they've shown. So I'm starting to really believe in the Ducks.
Do you believe in Montreal?
Yeah, it's interesting. At the start of this season, I actually did not pick the Montreal Canadiens to make the playoffs. I thought to myself, and I probably overthought this, they took that big jump after the Four Nations face-off last year. And maybe it was and they got into the playoffs and Washington handed it to them, but they hung in every game and all that. And I thought to myself, maybe it was a little too much too soon and the Canadiens would regress back a little bit and be more of a playoff bubble team. But they're so exciting.
Yeah.
And same in Anaheim, right? They're so exciting. They got energy. They got goal scoring. They got speed. They have a lot going for them. And Marty St. Louis is just a terrific NHL coach. He really is just a terrific NHL coach. Knows how to pull things out of guys that maybe these guys didn't think they had. And here they are in first place in the Atlantic Division right now. And helped along the way by injuries to the Panthers, injuries that the Ottawa Senators are dealing with right now, struggles that the Toronto Maple Leafs are having right now. But they deserve to be in first place. They're a playoff team last year that has found a way to win a lot of games this season so far. I think they've got, I think out of their 10 wins, only 5 are in regulation right now. They're winning games in overtime, shootout. They're finding ways.
A little bit of magic pixie dust. And final thing for Dan Rosen, NHL.com, because you've already referenced the Maple Leafs and the Rangers. We could throw the Panthers in there with all their injury issues. What do you see them as playoff teams? Are the Rangers a playoff team? Is it because of the Metro, Toronto, Florida? Because there's a lot of good young teams.
The Rangers have to get it going at home. If they can get it going at home, I think they're a playoff team. I honestly do. They have played better this season than their record indicates, especially their record at home. If you watch them closely, they're playing way better than they did a year ago. It's just they've just got no finish at home until last night.
Right.
And they scored 6 against the Nashville team. That's really struggling. Now they go on the road. They got Tampa tomorrow night. That's going to be a hard game for them, but they're 7-1-1 on the road. They have the goaltending. And what they did last night, they brought up Gabe Perreault, who's a skilled rookie forward for them, and they got Vincent Trocheck back. And you know about Vincent Trocheck. Yeah. Now, all of a sudden, instead of having Connor Sherry and Taylor Radish in your top 6, you've got Vincent Trocheck and Gabe Perreault. Perreault a rookie, but he's got skill, a lot of it. And your top 6 looks a lot more dangerous and deeper, and your depth of your lineup looks a lot deeper. So I do think, based on the Metro, I don't know what to think of the Philadelphia Flyers. Still don't know what to think of the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Islanders don't sell it on me either, even though they won 5-0 against the Rangers the other night. I think based on the Metro, the Rangers, if they play their game and they can get some finish, I think they're a playoff team. The Leafs, listen, it's a lot of mistakes in Toronto right now. Like, it's a lot of mistakes that are going on, and you probably saw it the other night, the other day when they played Carolina, right? You got to get them fixed, and that's not the easiest thing to fix because it bleeds all the way through. So it's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for them, especially if you look at the fact that I don't know what to think of Boston. They've won 6 in a row. Before that, they lost 7 in a row.
It's a seesaw.
So, it's a seesaw. Where it lands with Toronto, if they can curb the mistakes, I think they're fine. The Panthers just got to hang around. They got to hang around. Because when they hang around, they'll find a couple of wins later in the season and get in.
Yeah, and if they get in, just
look out.
Exactly. Dan Rosen, NHL.com, at DRosen, NHL at the Ring Podcast. Thank you so much for the time. We'll catch up.
All right, I appreciate it, man. Take care.
You got it. Dan Rosen here on the Adam Gold Show. When we come back, we'll talk about the Panthers, talk about tonight's Canes-Capitals game, and we'll be joined by Chris Spatola. We'll revisit our conversation with Chris Spatola, who works for ESPN and SiriusXM and is a veteran of the United States Army. Happy Veterans Day. Next.
His Zamboni is bigger than yours. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And you know what's really fun? Same-game parlays, especially if you hit them, they pay out. Points, rebounds, threes, assists, whatever you want to do. Man, the NBA is a box score league. And get in on the action. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So pick something easy and win. And then win again, and then win again with FanDuel's money. It's always better to bet with somebody else's money. FanDuel.com/AGS, FanDuel.com/AGS, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
North Carolina ranks second in the nation in potential agricultural land lost by the year 2040. The NC Forever Farms program supports the preservation of family farms through permanent agricultural conservation easements and has received a record number of applications for 3 straight years. Landowners interested in preserving their working farm through the Farmland Preservation Division of the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services can learn more by visiting ncadfp.org.
When people put their feet under a table, it means more than just consuming food. Getting the restaurant back open, that meant to the community a lot of normalcy. The public health department checked the wells so that we knew where we could get water that was able to be used.
And it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county.
NC Public Health, everywhere, every day, everyone.
You don't need a 4-year degree to have a rewarding career that makes a difference in people's lives every day. As a public power line worker, you'll build and maintain a locally owned and operated electric system to keep the lights on in your community. 4 months in a community college program provides the training you need to begin your career as an apprentice line worker in public power. And being a local government employee in North Carolina comes with excellent benefits. To learn more about line worker and other public power careers, visit electricities.com.
Your background may not include agriculture, but 2 years at the Agricultural Institute will prepare you for a career in it. Whether you are a military veteran with an arsenal of skills, kickstarting your second career, or about to graduate high school, the Agricultural Institute at NC State University is the right place for you. Nurture your passion and find your career. Learn more about our program online by searching NC State Ag Institute. 2 years, 1 degree, endless possibilities.
The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. This month, we dive into a project that's making big waves in Charlotte and beyond. It's called The Pearl, a bold reimagining of how healthcare, education, and innovation come together. My guest, Hillary Crittenden, leads operations for The Pearl and has played an important role in its growth and development.
The Pearl is an innovation district. We brought together medical education, cutting-edge research, and really big and small players in the healthcare space who are advancing science in a really interesting way, all together in one place.
You can learn more and join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And find out more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
One Adam.
Gold.
One Adam.
Gold.
Turtle cake? Like, what are we... What?
Isn't that an ice cream?
What? Where's the confetti cake? Because, hello, confetti cake, delicious. With the little, I don't even know if it's real, but the little dots in the icing, like...
None of these are real.
What kind of fake thing that is, but it's delicious. It's my childhood. Like, that wasn't in the top 10. His opinion's invalid to me.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I'm Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We'll revisit our part of our conversation with Chris Spatola, Army veteran.
Yeah, this one's my personal fave.
Former Duke basketball coach.
My dad's a Marine.
Is he? There you go.
I know this one very well. But I love them all. I love you all, vets. All of them.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes.
So
go get your free cheeseburger or something. There's got to be free stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean most places at least have deals, right?
Yes.
Especially on Veterans Day.
Yes.
For some, they give us Veterans Day off.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because, I mean, we have vets who work here.
Right. Give them off.
Right. Yeah. Well, like Chris had said earlier, which I'm sure we'll hear in the clip, his family also is involved in that. So families have to go through a lot with their loved ones as they go through the service. So it's a day to reflect. And as you said, your son's probably playing video games.
Actually, he is, in fact.
There you go.
I know this for a fact because I just asked him what he was doing, and he confirmed that he was,
Is he stuck on a very specific video game?
Yeah, I don't have to get into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I went in waves because Super Mario Brothers consumed a lot of summers. No.
He's either playing FIFA, Madden, or Apex.
Okay. Yeah.
It's one of those three.
Switch it
always. Up. Yeah, it all depends on what kind of mood he's in. If he just wants to shoot people.
Yeah. Well, there's a game for that.
Yes, there is a game for that. All right, let's. I want to get before we get to our conversation with Chris Spatola. Hurricanes and the Capitals tonight at the Lenovo Center.
Mm-hmm.
Washington's record probably doesn't belie the fact that they're playing fairly well. They don't allow a lot of goals, about 2.5 goals a game. So they've been pretty stingy defensively. They play a lot like Carolina plays. They try to get behind you. They try to force you into mistakes in your defensive zone to lead them into possession. Their possession metrics are pretty good. But they haven't scored the way they have in years past. Yet they're still scoring more than they're giving up. Power play has not been good for Washington. So the real difference for them is that their penalty kill has not been good. But as we talked to Rod Brindamore this morning, I did for the pregame show, but we aired it here earlier, and we talked a little bit about Tom Wilson. At some point, and Tom Wilson's always been a good player, but at some point Tom Wilson became a great player. And I have been as critical of Wilson's antics as anybody. But when he sort of left that as just a part of his game, as opposed to the feature of his game, he has developed into an excellent, excellent player. I will be shocked if he is not on the Canadian Olympic team. Shocked. He's that good. And he's their best player. And frankly, it ain't close. He's still big and fast and physical, and he plays in all situations. He is their most important player. It is not a coincidence that last year, in the one game Washington won in the series, Tom Wilson was the best player.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He's one of those guys you don't like unless he's on your team because he's so good.
There was a time where I was like, can Carolina get him?
Mm-hmm.
And this is when Washington was blowing it up when they were trading pieces. I'm like, oh, well, if they're going to trade pieces, let's see. Like they traded Orlov. Dmitry Orlov, they traded him to Boston as they were starting a teardown. And I thought maybe they'll continue the teardown, but nope. Tom Wilson is going to be a Capital for life. He's a great, great player. Yes, he would make Carolina better. Because, again, he plays in all situations. He's a good penalty killer. He's still fast. Can he be a distraction, even to Washington? Yes, he can. He has, at times, will kind of run around and do dumb things, but he's an incredible player. Obviously, the Hurricanes have to be aware of that. Alexi Protas is basically what he was a year ago. He doesn't have a power play goal. All of his goals are at even strength. I believe he scored every goal that he scored last year at even strength. It's weird. But he's 6'6". They are a big team. They don't have Pierre-Luc Dubois. That's their second center, so they are still trying to figure out how to make this work without him. But John Carlson is a good player. He's not what he used to be, but is a good player. Jacob Chikrin is a really good player. Maybe not what he was in the playoffs, but still a very good player. It's a good team. And I think their numbers are better than their record. So it should be an interesting game tonight at Lenovo Center. Hurricanes have won, 3 in a row now, and are 11-4 overall. And now they're starting to look like the Hurricanes. They were winning games without looking like the Hurricanes, but in the last few games, they are starting to look more and more like the team that we are used to seeing. The team that puts a lot of shots on net, the team that holds the other team's shot totals down and suffocates them for stretches. They did it at Madison Square Garden in New York. They did it against Toronto in Toronto on Sunday night. We'll see if they do it tonight. All right. To our conversation with Chris Spatola in the Rewind. It's Veterans Day. Chris Spatola, who served in the U.S. Army, played basketball at West Point. When I say Happy Veterans Day, what is he thinking about?
You know, it's funny, Adam. Each year I think about different things. And this morning, you know, my wife and I went through it together. Like we were out living in I was first stationed in Oklahoma. And, you know, I was not this gung-ho military guy. I got to that point and I served proudly and I served as well as I could. But it was never what I had intended. I went to West Point to go play basketball. And so when I was finally out in the active Army and I was stationed out in Oklahoma and I had to drag – my wife and I had just gotten married and I had to drag her out there, we did it together. And it was interesting. It was funny. This morning we were sitting before the kids got up, she and I were sitting at the breakfast table and she said, oh, and she doesn't get all that because she lived it. So she doesn't, you know, she's not all in on, hey, happy –
right.
But she said, hey, you know, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day. And I was skeptical. Like, does she really mean this? What is she doing? Am I being had here? And I said, thanks. Thank you so much. I said, we did that together. And, you know, I think we did it together. And so the thing that I've been thinking a lot about today is obviously we want to thank veterans and anybody who has served. But what these families commit to doing that, obviously wives, husbands, sons and daughters, all family of veterans, what you have to commit in order to make that work is significant. So that's what I was thinking about today, man.
I do find it very funny, as you heard me laughing, how, like, wait a second, there's something going on here.
Right.
My wife is thanking me. Like, I get that too at home, obviously not for military service, but for other reasons. But like, thank you for doing that. I'm like, okay, what did I do wrong? I did something right. It's getting brought up. I must have done something wrong. So, the sports and the military are so intertwined. How do you feel about the association? I know sometimes it's paid, right? I'm like that in some ways bothers me, but maybe it shouldn't. But how does somebody who did serve? How do you process the intertwining of the sports world and the U.S. military?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a process. I mean, I'll speak to you first as an athlete. I mean, I learned as much about leadership from being a cadet as I did from playing a sport and playing a sport at West Point, but playing a sport in general. I mean, obviously there are, to your point, there's a lot of intersection between what it means to be an athlete, to be on a team, and ultimately to be in the military and to serve. And, it's funny. Well, not funny, but it was very resonating for me, Adam. This was back in 2012. I went to the funeral for a friend of mine. He died in Afghanistan, somebody that I went to West Point with and served in Oklahoma with. And at his funeral, on the program, was written, "Who will go for us? Send me." And it's a Bible verse, and I'm not hugely religious, but that just on its face really resonated with me. This idea of, being out there for those to your left and your right, and who's willing to do this? Okay, I'll do it. Send me. And that was, that sort of, obviously, that can transcend anything. I mean, we have obviously a lot going on nationally now and within sport and all of that. But that's sort of, there's a nobility in that way of thinking. And I think that's where sort of that intersection between sport and the military really, really came through, that idea of selfless service and being about those who are around you. And that's what it's meant for me. And I think that's why, it's interesting. You see all these teams now that are doing this, summer Navy SEAL training and military training and all that, because of, all of that overlapping methodology and value systems, et cetera.
Tiger Woods used to train with Navy SEALs. We could actually blame the Navy SEALs for Tiger's deteriorating body, because he definitely overdid it. I'm really not blaming the Navy SEAls. Chris Spatola is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I know somebody you know very well, and we all do, although not quite at the same level, Mike Krzyzewski, who went to West Point. He was the point guard at West Point a couple of years before you were the point guard at West Point. And he's on the trip with Duke up at Army. He's probably, I don't know if he's the highest profile athlete, because he wasn't really a high profile athlete. We would have David Robinson for that, probably, at least in terms of modern athletes that served in the military or went to a military academy and then became a pro. But the significance of Duke playing at Army today is what to you?
Yeah, an incredible gesture by Shire to do that, and shows the way that dude thinks. Obviously thinking much bigger than simply about this moment in time and his program and should we be going to play at Army? Yeah, I think it's an incredible gesture on John's part. And to be honest, and you know this, Adam, like his players are better for it. I mean, his players after this experience. I know they were up there practicing yesterday and, had a chance to tour West Point. And for those athletes, that's going to be a lifetime memory. So I think he's doing his players a great service. And then to do it on Veterans Day to the point we were making about families, to allow the West Point community to drink in Duke basketball, all of that outside of Coach K, it's an incredible gesture and I think just a great moment. And then for Coach K, to have this, I was texting with him last night I think he's incredibly moved by it, Adam. And I think this is a guy, and he and I were similar in terms of, and you said a couple of years apart. Obviously, that was quite hyperbole on your part.
Well, he looks very young. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you still have dark hair, black hair at his age,
right.
that'll happen. But he and I were similar in the respect that we were not model cadets. It gets back to the point. Like I was not a G.I. Joe, and
right.
neither was Coach K. But what we took from that experience, that 4-year experience, was a value system that we've lived our lives with, and then what he coached with. And while his tone and the way he talked to players and the way he handled players, that changed as generations changed. But the value system and what he demanded based on that value system that he developed in his time as a cadet and then coaching at West Point, that he was never willing to compromise those things. And they served as the foundation for him, throughout his life. And so I think to be up there and they're honoring him and to have both of those worlds colliding on West Point's camp at Post, I think really means a lot to him at this point in his life. And again, it goes back to the gesture from Shire to do that.
We thanked Chris Spatola for jumping on today. He's such a smart man. I wish he did more writing.
Yeah.
He used to do a lot of writing for The Athletic when The Athletic was first essentially brand new, and I think Chris is a dynamite writer. So we really didn't get into a lot of college basketball, just a little bit. We talked more surface about what he thought of the Triangle teams, and there's a lot to love about all 3 Triangle teams, and I cannot wait for us to get really into this season. Carolina plays tonight at home against Radford. Duke is on the road at West Point playing against Army. State does not play tonight. And I think State's going to kind of ease their way into the season in terms of their schedule, although UAB was not a bad team at all. That was a team that was a top 100 team a year ago, but we'll see. I love the Wolfpack this year, and their schedule is going to ramp up pretty quickly. All right, we got Canes and the Capitals tonight. Tomorrow we'll talk more college football with Chip Patterson. We'll get into the ACC. I'll get his thoughts on really what is becoming a little bit of a tire fire at LSU with how they are trying to weasel out of paying Brian Kelly's buyout, which is not really a buyout. If you have this massive contract and you fire the coach, the contract's guaranteed. You owe him the money. I just don't understand what this whole thing is. But Chip will help us sort through it. Victoria, thank you very much. Happy Veterans Day to all. See you tomorrow.
Because your fantasy football team needs all the help it can get, the Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
This Veterans Day, 99.9 The Fan and Buzz Sports Radio salute those who served in our nation's armed forces.
Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom.